What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. This is the WWE SmackDown review video on April 4th, 2025 for y'all today, and we're going to be talking about what exactly went down on the Blue Brand show on the Friday nights in WWE, and we got so many very awesome and interesting angles and elements for on the road to WrestleMania 41, like from I'll say the to a very very overly extreme monstrous last man standing match uh, to the I'll say the possible main event of night one's WrestleMania match card angle, like be finally revealing like what exactly the secret is been revealed. Like we got so much things to talk about from unfortunate canceled match, like a canceled match, and then we got some the other half of a fine money like finally been cashed out, and also I don't know why I'm talking about, but anyways, we also got some appearances from the likes of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns in the same building, and we finally revealed what exactly the favor was. And no, it didn't have nothing to do with main eventing WrestleMania, for CM Punk or main event spot at WrestleMania, but I'd say it ties in like exactly what we probably expected the next best thing is. Well, we already guessed what your boy SNA is, which I don't know what's the point of me like saying it in this way. But anyways, we also got a very interesting last man standing match. We got a winner, and we're gonna see who's gonna be fighting LA Knight exactly at WrestleMania for its United States Championship. We're only 15 days away from the biggest show of the year, which is WrestleMania. And we got the number one contenders match for the WWE Tag Team Championship between the DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. These guys will never have a boring match. And also we got what other thing that we witnessed here on this latest edition of SmackDown. I'll say what other and we also got a match that's been announced, like a match that we've all been waiting for, that that will be happening indeed at WrestleMania, guaranteed now, and much more. And make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and post notification bell for more of SNA's videos, and subscribe on his other channel at SNA Entertainment. Thank you very much in advance. But this is where we saw the likes of Naomi and B Fab getting into the ring, and they're in the opposite side because they are going to be opponents tonight. And also we got the new bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Sol Sikoa was coming in the building by in one side, and then LA Knight was in the other, and then Braun Strowman, in the other one. Like, they start. There must be like probably so many like exits and entrance in this arena in Chicago, Illinois, which is you already guessed it. It was the hometown of the Second City Saint and the the latest edition of the WrestleMania main eventers list. And this is where they showed last week what happened on SmackDown when they signed the contract, until we heard fans start chanting this guy's name that's from the city, which is CM Punk himself, which this is where this music started putting on, and that's where the cult of personality came on, like from the hit show in the 80s, Living Color. But anyways, this is where we got the former WWE champion. Then it was in the ring. This is where he got like a long half-hour a long half-hour promo, like if he is John Cena and Cody Rhodes, like they have been doing for the last 3 weeks on Monday Night Raw when they were in Europe. But now they're in the States of America. We watched a live episode of SmackDown, which I'm not sure when was the last time we have watched a live Friday Night SmackDown episode on USA, like at least in America. But this is where then. This is where the CM Punk was like they told me that the best television audience is like in overseas, but when I knew like we were coming back home to America, I knew that we were going to come to my best city, and that is Chicago. And then this is where CM Punk continued and this is where he grabbed onto the cameraman's camera. This is where he started waving it all around the arena, like giving it giving the cameraman of like at least a 2-minute break. This was CM Punk like it's only the best audiences like in overseas And look at it. We're live in great old Chicago, Illinois, which he was showing the whole entire arena with the camera that was in the ring by the cameraman. This is where then we got Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett were cracking up in commentary. This is where he's like, like, this is why this guy is, I'll say the most, I'll say entertaining and colorful one in the business. But this is where fans start chanting CM Punk. Then CM Punk like, yeah, that's why we don't listen to them. We don't listen to outside voices. And this was like, yeah, little fact is like, now I'm not supposed to be here, like if I'm being honest. And the fans are like, whoa, what that's supposed to mean? This is where the CM Punk's like what? And this is where it's like, I was born at what they call the Silver Cross Hospital. What is it? Or what's the name of the hospital in Chicago he named? Like he said he's not supposed to be there. And he said like he was born in what was the hospital was? Like Silver Cross. I was right. Yeah, it was Silver Cross. And he was like I had a core in I was born blue, and they had to bring me back to life. And I'm not supposed to be here. He's like, I was so blue. Like, you were probably more blue than the SmackDown microphone. He's like, but every time I come in on television, no matter where it is, like in wherever city, all across the world, like Netflix or even USA and America or international, like it doesn't matter. Is to make new fans every single freaking time. He's like, but this time, I am TV land. Please forgive me. When I gave the time not to make new fans, but to thank the 16,000 strong that attended here tonight in my hometown. And these are my friends and family in this house. And this is where then fans start clapping all around the arena. I bet he must have had like a little hometown after party after this little event, which who could blame the second city saint for this word? Then CM Punk's like, when they tell you not supposed to be here, you say, well, who's gonna be make me leave? And then that's exactly what I have done. And he's like, and every single time when I lace my boots up, hell, every time I go to the grocery store, they tell me you're not supposed to be here. And then this way, I just go about my business and then buy the groceries that I need and then check out and leave and go back home. And I was like, man, maybe if I was in this kind of predicament, maybe I should take a thing or two from CM Punk, just completely ignore them and just get what you need and just get out. Yeah. I was like, now this is why they call him probably the most controversial figure in all of wrestling. And I would say that's true. That's 100% accurate, but not in a bad way. I would say more likely in the total opposite manner. But anyways, where CM Punk did continue. And this where and this where then CM Punk then continue about some other places they say he's not supposed to be there, but he still goes there anyways. WWE was very fantastic, especially from the beginning and to the end. Continuing to make it more exciting for WrestleMania. Thank you so much for asking. I totally enjoyed myself. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad I'm making a review video on this, by the way. But yeah, anyway, this is where CM Punk then continued saying, ladies and gentlemen, I earned it. When the fans start chanting, you deserve it. He's like, I don't just deserve it. I earned it. And he was I don't know how many names that told me I was not supposed to be here in my own hometown. This is where the CM Punk kid is this is where then he then said he trained at this. What's the name of this training facility? He was I studied in backyards of Chicago. And that's how I trained in the steel domain. And they said I'm not supposed to be here either. And then this was and on the contracts here, and this is where this is where he said and he's you're still not supposed to be here. And this is where the CM Punk said I prayed dressed up like Al Capone right over there and on John Cena's gangster car, which he broke the fourth wall when he said he was basically the gangster, what they called the gangster chauffeur, because he was right in the front seat driving the car that John Cena came out of, when he had his match against Triple H at WrestleMania 22 in 2006, which was months before he made his WWE debut. But anyway, this is where the CM Punk thing. And that's where then he said and that's when they claim that that's what's good as gets for me, kid. And And yeah, and I believe that year's WrestleMania was in Chicago, Illinois. Correct me if I'm wrong, assassinators, but I'm pretty sure they did say it was Chicago, and then he got a gig from WWE from that. But it's where CM Punk's the kid is like, but it is where it's like, but to me, that's where the hard work begins. And I appreciate everybody, like, and congratulating me. Like, and I walk in the airport, like, coming in my, like, and he's like, good luck, CM Punk. Like, congratulations, you made it. Like, and I'm here to let you guys know that now, that the hard work begins, and it's about to pay off. And in this word, CM Punk kids, like, I am a product of this town. Like, I have to thank each and every one of you. Like, and please forgive me. Why am I thanking you? Like, and like, I want to, but first, I want to thank my beautiful wife, April. And this where we all know her as AJ Lee, like, because yeah, we seeking stuff online, of course, like we us internet marks and wrestling nerds. But anyways, this is where we got he bowed, like, which shows a sign of respect to his own wife. And he even mentioned his little good old puppy, Larry, which he kind of reminds me of my late dog from that sadly passed away a month ago, or 2 months ago, actually, to be exact. But anyway, and this is where the CM Punk went on to say, like, that there's so many other people that I can thank right now. And see what exactly, like, they take me exactly where I need to be. Like, and I feel come out here on television, like, and I want to taking every each and every one of you, like I wouldn't be exactly who I am without this city. Like, I wouldn't be where I am without this city. Like, from the bottom of my heart, like, I want to thank you guys. And he's like, and now, like the hard work begins, like I just said. And this is like, and now I got a date with WrestleMania, and I promise you that I am gonna whip Seth Rollins and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns' asses. And then this is, and then and he's like, and I'm gonna win, and then it's gonna be, and not only gonna be just any ordinary triple threat tag team match. I mean, triple threat match. Like, it's gonna be at the main event of WrestleMania. Like, if Roman Reigns is still the undisputed champion, but we all know that he haven't been that championship since like Cody beat him almost a year ago. But anyway, this is where but right after they said WrestleMania, this is where we heard a very familiar "Ladies and Gentlemen," and you already know. CM Punk even probably knows who this is. It was none other than Paul Heyman. This is where he walked right out there doing his little short pimp walk. This is where he repeated himself, like, on the microphone. And this is where he's like, and I want to positively assure you, Punk, that no disrespect to my best friend, like, in the world, in his own city of the second city, and that is the second city saint himself. And then this is where he was like, and not only that, but he also the best in the world, while stating his name, like, by showing the sign of respect. What he said, with the fans saying along with him, because who could blame him by saying that? Like, for him being like one of the top best wrestlers in all of the industry in general. Like, just don't tell the other company that WWE's competing against. But anyways, this is where then we got the fans start chanting ECW, because they all knew, like, where it all began. For like, first it was with Paul Heyman creating the brand until it got bought out in the beginning of 2000. But we don't really talk that much about it anymore. But we're gonna be talking about when they revived it back in 2006, 2005. What year was it? I think it was 2006 when they really revived the pay-per-view in 2005 of the One Night Stand, but they didn't fully revive it until like 2006. Like, and guess who was the man that was like the prodigy and the rookie of the brand? Yep, you guessed it. It was Chick Magnet Punk. But anyways, this is where we got this is where CM Punk acknowledged the fans' chants in Chicago, saying, yeah, keep on chanting, EC Dub. And it brings on good memories. This is where he gave a bow of respect to Paul Heyman while they were doing so, which but and this where yeah, I was like, man, like, I would not I totally did not expect, like, it was Paul Heyman was the reason why, like, but that makes sense because he was the original creator of the brand, and also, like, it was him that was the reason why he got hired in WWE in the first place, and stuff like that, etc. But this is where then we got Paul Heyman continues, like tonight, like, like as in not Chicago, like what you could do for your wise man, like ask instead, like what your wise man like can do for you, Chicago, and that's where the fans but was had probably plenty plenty of questions to ask him about that. Like maybe one of them about that favor CM Punk been mentioning for the last few months. But this is where Paul Heyman did start. So yeah, like like there's a there's a phrase here that y'all say, like with the from the voice to the voice of CM Punk, like and then he said like, and I wanted to, and yeah, Lord forgive me for what I'm about to say. He said like, but God damn it, like you belong here, and that's what he said by pointing at CM Punk. This is where then CM Punk like, yeah, like you, like you belong in Chicago, like, and by God, like you belong in the main event of WrestleMania, and then this is where then fans start clapping like, yeah, and then this is where Paul Heyman then continues like the last time the two of us were standing here inside this ring, like the I came they Solo and Jacob Fatu and Tamatana Tagaloa, all four of them were breathing down my neck, and I started begging you to take me with you. And like I was begging you, Punk, like, and then, but like, needless to say, like a week after that, like I end up getting tossed by the announcer by those same guys, and I've been out for months. Like you like. And when it was right in Madison Square Garden when they did this, and he was like, and I was gone for months, which I haven't been in for a long time. He was like, maybe, well, like when I was probably fired about almost 20 years ago. This is where then fans start cracking up. This is where Paul Heyman let him know that's not funny. Well, I was like, I had to chuckle like I'm guilty, like, but yeah, it was very funny when it was executed, and then because of that, I'm gonna have to give it like probably the golden trophy of the night. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I apologize. Like, hopefully, this podcast video makes you feel better, and hopefully that they don't do that to you anymore. But I would say the best thing to do is to step up to them and call them out when they're wrong for bullying you. Like that's my best advice. Like something that like any of these wrestlers would do, like if they were bullied. But that's my best advice. But anyways, this is where we got Paul Heyman then got on my. And this when Paul Heyman then asked them what was the favor that he has to owe him, which I was like, I was stunned and shocked. That's one thing that I forgot to tell you guys. Like, but I did say it was kind of revealed, but it was more of a sneak peek of what we expected it. Well, we expected it probably any time afterwards when it's being revealed whatsoever. Like even if it was partially, we thought it would be any time after WrestleMania. But anyways, like this is where then he started asking. He's like because he's like the reason why I'm asking is because Roman Reigns is on his way here. He's not here yet, but he's very angry right now, and he's very and he's like yeah he and that's enough as it is and this where he's like you know what happens when the tribal chief like it gets very mad and angry. This when and you know like what they said about his father, like you know like when somebody gets angry like. And this is where he starts stumbling and stuttering like on his words until CM Punk can catch what he just said. Like when one of the words that he said, he's like, "Wait, did you just said that he's not here?" Like, and this is where Paul Heyman was stunned, like, and shocked himself for even saying that. Like, he was like, "Well, like I said, he's not here yet. Like, he's in the training camp for WrestleMania. Like, and this is where Paul Heyman. I mean, this is where CM Punk then kind of interrupted him. He was like, "But as he should be, like, and I don't blame him for that." But I think the favor is like, with all due respect to the tribal chief, but I think that the favor has is none of his business, but it is gonna give him like a little bit of an effect. And I was like, and that's where it had me thinking, like, like maybe my predictions are right, and we're gonna be seeing like if it's true, like later on in the night. But we're gonna get into that. But it does get very interesting, but there's no revelation into it. But at the same time, it does tease something on what's to come, probably after the showcase of the Immortals, on what's to come, like after the match, post match, like on the when it gets there, like on like who's the like what exactly the favor is that CM Punk is asking for Paul Heyman for in return for helping Roman Reigns out. But this where then CM Punk then continued like by saying like I'm gonna give him until the end of the night when the show before the show goes off like show goes off until I'll let you know what the favor is or something like that. But and this way it's like, and I'll like, and since you want me to let the tribal chief know about this, like I'm gonna tell it to him right directly in his face, and he did exactly that. And we're gonna, but it still keeps, but it has. Let's just say like, yeah, Paul Heyman was kind of in the middle of it, but we're gonna get into that in just a moment. But what are your thoughts onto this little favor about this? Let me know in the comments. And there's one thing I totally forgot to mention as well. We got a debut of Ray Phoenix that was in the WWE Horizon. Like, and he had his debut match tonight, and he looked stronger than he ever been. Like, well, I hope he don't insult the other company because I'm a massive fan of that promotion as well. But like, but let's just say, like, he did have his debut match, but it wasn't against Andrade, which that was a blessing. But unfortunately, he's been missing for quite some time, though, at the same time. Hopefully, it didn't have nothing to do with him being divorced with Charlotte Flair. And considering they're both on the same show, that's because they're a married couple. The WWE had that rule. Like, ever since Andrade came back, like, they were still married until, like, a few months afterwards. Like, they got the divorce, which everything's been finalized and everything recently. Like, and I only give like I said, like I want to wish them the very best of luck in their future. And I am very sad and sorry to hear that this relationship didn't work out the way they hoped it would. But hopefully they do find somebody that they're capable of, like that's more like that they're that's like a companion that they're gonna be being with for the rest of their life. But yeah, like I'm saying, like out of support, like not trying to get into nobody's business. But anyways, yeah, we got the match. We got Ray Phoenix then made his debut, but it was not even against a main roster wrestler. Let's just say it was NXT's very own one half of the NXT Tag Team Champion, Nathan Frazier, and I was like, yeah, like I'll be darned. Like I should have known since like that his tag partner faced Gunther on that episode of SmackDown, like when they were in what's that Barcelona, Spain, like in that city, yeah, of Spain, like which he was the home country hero at that point, like and plus like I guess they wanted to have somebody that's like it's a bit of a quick challenge, like for Ray Phoenix. That's which probably the other reason why they had Nathan Frazier be the wrestler to fight Phoenix tonight. This is where he started going for a wrist lock. This is where then we got Ray Phoenix that fought back and go for a wrist lock of his own. This is where then we got Nathan Frazier going for rolling and flips, and then hits a wrist lock arm drag slam, like boom, hit him back first. Then he tried to go for a super kick, but this is where Nathan Frazier dodges out of the way, grab onto the ropes. This is where he's like, oh no, not on to me, not this time. Or not any time. This is where then Ray Phoenix like, oh, like maybe not this time, but it will be. Like eventually, this where then Nathan Frazier then end up going for a headlock. Then he gets thrown right to the left side. This is where then we got Frazier then try to go for. I mean, this is where Nathan Frazier keep dodging out of clotheslines to keep going to every right side. This is where. Then he kicks him right in the gut. This is where then we got Ray Phoenix then go sliding right to the left corner side, go slingshot and get a roundhouse kick like if he never left the other company that he won tag team and mid-card gold, which I'm not going to get into further details on at this time. But like this is where we got Ray Phoenix going for pins after pins, only for Nathan Frazier impressively keep kicking out at 2 counts. And then this is where we got a very impressive rolling Hurricane Rana kind of sequence from Penta's brother. This is where he goes for a pump kick after this. This is where then he picks up the one half of the NXT Tag Team Champion, then slapped him across his chest, which I believe he's trying to call out the ring general. But this is where Nathan Frazier probably warned him, like, you know what happened to my own tag partner Axiom when he tried to hit it. When he tried to mock him with his own signature move. Like, so one thing you got to watch out is the ring general, which I'm surprised your brother haven't fought yet. But this is where we got Nathan Frazier to try to go for a suicide dive, but he nearly slipped and tripped and failed. This is where luckily Ray Phoenix is the professional he is. He caught him before he had any more damages gone. This is where we got Frazier then throws him back in the ring. This is where Ray Phoenix is like, all right, like all right, Nate, like let's get in, let's continue to dance. Like, no, not really, but you know, like let's go on the speed off. This is where we got Nathan Frazier wearing blue, like maybe not only for SmackDown, but also because he was probably like the Sonic the Hedgehog of the night. But but despite being like the fastest hedgehog in video game and animation history, like it still was not like gonna gonna put a stop to the debut in Phoenix. But this is where then we got Ray Phoenix did a dive onto him before the partial powerful force on All of Pro Wrestling came on, and that was the picture in picture commercial break, because for some reasons that like on cable and TV channels, like they love doing those. Like when it comes to, especially when it comes to big sporting events, including wrestling. But anyways, it's where we got some headlocks, some stretches from Frazier, but everything he do, even some maneuvers to get him pinfall victories, couldn't even put away the Ray Phoenix once the adverts came on. But once he got him right back on his feet, that's where we got Ray Phoenix hit a flying drop kick, then to go for a walk right onto the top rope, hits him with his leg starting kick, what they call the Hello Amigo kick or something like that. That's what Joe Tessitore described it. I was like, I think it was a totally different name when he was wrestling for that other company that he and his brother used to wrestle for. But this is where the Ray Phoenix then hits the fire driver, I believe, which Wade Barrett then described then said like I'm surprised like Nick's neck didn't snap after taking that maneuver. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but he get the right shoulder up at the last second, which had Ray Phoenix like nobody has ever kicked out of that maneuver when I was over at the other place, which I might be referencing it a bit too much. But I'm just looking at it at a standpoint with how Ray Phoenix was looking at it, probably in that way. Which if I interviewed him right here on the SNA podcast, I probably would ask him about that, like when he made his debut here. But this is where we got what's his name, Nathan Frazier. He saw Nathan Frazier was trying to get back up. This is where he kicked right onto the ropes. He had a step up in Sagiri, like if he's his former wrestling school teacher, the visionary and the revolutionary and the architect himself, Seth Rollins. This is where he'd step up in Sagiri when he got back up. It's where that's not the only move that he used. This is where then I believe he must have asked some advice from his former teacher, since they were both in the same building. Like when he had this match against one half of the Lucha Brothers. This is where we got Nathan Frazier try to go for only for somehow Ray Phoenix go for a kip up, hit a super kick right into his face, hit an Enziguri, picks him up right on the top rope. This is where we got Ray Phoenix then hits a chop right onto the chest, onto the Jersey wrestler, then hit him with that his other finisher, the Muscle Buster maneuver, that put him away for good. This is where then he spin him around like a Falcon Arrow for the 1-2-3, and the winner of this match. And yeah, what a heck of a performance this was. And because of it, it's definitely going to get the silver trophy of tonight, because the last man standing match, even though it was the total opposite than I expected it to be, but it still had me interested, very interested, like into the show, like which is going to get the golden trophy. But this is where then we got Byron Saxton then did the in-ring post-match interview with the brother of Penta. This is where he's like, sorry for the over motions like after your victory. Like, but I would say congratulations, like of your debut match, your first ever match in the WWE ring. And this is where Ray Phoenix took it. This is where then he said thank you to Chicago. Well, he said in his native language of Spanish, saying gracias. This is where then he said, and this was like, he's like, yeah, like even though I haven't competed here and competed in the WWE ring, but I have a lot of history in Chicago. However, like, and he was like, and this is like, and there was all of you people like in this very building. This is where it's like, but tonight, like, this is another debut of this is not just. This is not just another debut of Phoenix. Like tonight, like it's so much more to me. Like you know, like in tonight, like I he's like, yeah, the Ray, it's the Ray Phoenix. Like I'm rewarded with love and passion. Again, he's like, and in the rage, and that's where then he said something in Spanish, like which I didn't really understand that much. But he's like, he worked his whole life to say this, like, and this is where then And this is where he got this company confused, like to the former company he used to work for, by saying he is WWE, which kind of sounds similar to a company that has an E into their initials of their wrestling company, but it don't stand for entertainment, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anyways, this is where we got the latest arrival of Ray Phoenix. And what are your thoughts onto the debut of Ray Phoenix? Do you think they made the right choice of choosing Nathan Frazier instead of Andrade, which I think was probably a complete blessing in disguise? And I want to ask you the question: what was the reason why they, if this is the case, what are your thoughts on the reason why they pulled Andrade from doing this match and job on with Ray Phoenix and have Frazier take his spot? Let me know also as well in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got what's his name? Santos Escobar's like, see, we need you need to be like this guy. And I was like, what you know about guys like this? You haven't even probably wrestled in half the companies he competed in. Probably only just a few. With all due respect to the leader of Ricardo del Fantasma, but this is where Humberto Carrillo then was and saying like he's just a rookie, he still was green, like when it came to his springboard abilities and whatnot. And I'm much more of a better Latino wrestler. This where then what's his name? This is where we got Santos Escobar's like, how about you prove that by being better with him in a match? And I'm gonna talk to Nicholas the Ridiculous Aldis to make this match happen. And I'm gonna make it happen next week. It's gonna be Ray Phoenix versus Berto. And this way, then he said versus Berto. He pointed directly at the one half of Los Garza. That's where then they went to their powerful force of all pro wrestling commercial break. And what are your thoughts on to this match? Do you think Berto's gonna job out onto what's his name, onto Ray Phoenix, just like Frazier did? But even though he kind of did the job for the new arrival of WWE, he still looked good. They tried out a little an experimental thing, and he passed all the way. With Ray Phoenix being excuse me, with Ray Phoenix being a perfect example of a guy that you face someone that looks like they have main roster experience, but they do have some professional wrestling experience all the way, ever since they joined the industry in the first place. But yeah, I thought they did a super magnificently phenomenal job onto the aspects of this match, and hopefully that we see more of this continue with Ray Phoenix until he earns some singles gold opportunities, or even get paired by his brother to win tag team gold and add a new addition of the tag team roster, whether if it's on Raw or SmackDown. Considering his brother, his brother Penta's in WWE now as well, but he's on the Raw brand. It looks like he's about to get a shot at the Intercontinental Championship on the road to WrestleMania 41. But anyway, this is where we got Braun Strowman there. We're running into Braun Strowman with what's his name? Soul Cold. Try to do a warning to Braun Strowman, saying you're going to be defeated by his cousin Jacob Fatu, and he's going to get the shot against LA Knight for the United States Championship. And then Braun Strowman's like, well, you are damn wrong. I'm gonna go through your cousin, and I'm gonna make sure he stays down at the count of 10 and be on my way to WrestleMania to face LA Knight for his United States Championship to achieve and add a belt on my collection of becoming the latest star to become a Grand Slam champion. And this is where they never got into a fight until the champ himself, LA Knight, then come in and be the peacemaker, break down. This is where then LA Knight's we're trying to calm down Strowman, saying don't waste all your time and energy and onto this little pumpkin head that's because his bacon lives and his wild cousin attacking infested cousin right here, what's his name, Tamatanga. What y'all need to do is get your boys in order, and they can ask for you, Braun. You need to keep your eyes on the prize. And this is where then Braun Strowman's already am. He looked directly at his around his waist. This is where LA Knight He just told Sokola then was thinking he's still the new tribal chief by saying like, "You got a lot of balls of talking to me like that." Like, and this where Ellen like, "Yeah, you right. Like, you damn right. I got a lot of balls, but don't worry about that." In this word, then we got, and for those assassinators that are unaware of what Tama Tonga's saying, like with his catchphrase, yeah, 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 yeah. Like this, you probably thought he was mocking LA Knight by saying his chance, yeah. And then this where then we Jacob like, shoot your shot on me tonight. And this is where we got another match that's been added on tonight. And I was like, yeah, I'm starting to worry about you. Like, you want to make noise about you? Like, you're going to make a lot of noise out there with that, all that, blah, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. That, which is the bootleg version of the, yeah. Like, which that's how it's supposed to say. Like, and I'm going to be stomping your ass out that way. Like, now, like, now, and now DJ, like of the gorilla, like play my music, and this is where they start playing this music. As soon as he's like, I'm gonna kick this dummy's keister right into the dirt of this canvas, and then this is where then he came out like with his usual entrance, and like and this is where we saw the entrance of Tama Tonga when the partial powerful force of all wrestling came went off, like, and it was. The match just started. It was official. This is where we got LA Knight and tossed him right into the diagonal side in the bottom right side from the upper left side. And this is where we got when he tried to reach for Tama Tonga, but this is where Tama Tonga grabs on him and throws him right into the turnbuckle, start hitting some strikes and then headbutts. Then he tried to pick him up to go for a back suplex to follow up with the megastar. Then we got Tama Tonga. Then got back up. This is where then they tried to go for a pin immediately after he did so, but this were only for LA Knight, kick out at 3. This is where Tama Tonga go for the right corner side, only for him to catch a big boot right into the face by the megastar. Oh, come in. Me too, and I hear it in my head. Hey. Yeah. Tell Mama or whatever it is. She might need to complain on the lettuce. The lettuce is like red or brown or something. Okay. I'm gonna tell her right now. Yeah. Some other stuff too, but yeah, you can tell her. Yeah. All right. No problem. I don't mean to say that, but I am. It's not good either. I shouldn't be freezing. Once we come back from door dashing, we make like 2 or 3. But I'm not in a good position right now. I need to get all this fixed. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, this is where we got LA Knight and started hitting Tonga right into each turnbuckle pad, like boom, right first in the upper right and then the bottom. Upper right and then the upper left, the bottom left and the bottom right. Then when he got him in the bottom right side, started stomping on him. With the fans started chanting, yeah, 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 yeah. This is where referees are, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where we got LA Knight hit the big knee right into the face, right into the left side, which made him roll right into the right. This is where we got LA Knight. All right, now my chest is where he goes to the left, dip right there, hit a baseball sliding kick onto the former onto Tama Tonga. This is where we got. He threw him back in the ring, but this is where he does. You better stay out of this, Solo. So Solo's like, I know. You better not worry about me. All you got to worry about is my cousin. This is where we got Solo Sikoa's about to come in. Like once LA Knight was doing that by knocking off Tama Tonga off of him. But this is where then we got Solo Sikoa came in. But this is where the referee even knows. Like, you better not get involved, or else you will get. Or it's gonna cost your cousin his match. This is where, when he distracted him, this is where we got Tama Tonga end up pushing. Tama Tonga ended up pushing. What's his name? LA Knight right into on the announce table, like if he was Jimbo Uso, which feel bad for poor Jimbo for always keep being attacked by this guy. But it's where. And this is where the powerful force in all of pro wrestling came on, but it's where what they got off the advert is where I believe we got the Tama Tonga still was on top, must be starting to be a fan favorite. But it's where LA Knight started going for a leap over dodge. Like after he gets eyes on the right corner side, he hits the sunset flip because Tama Tonga bowed his head like a little bit too long. LA Knight then goes for a pin, but this is where we got Tama Tonga start going for like a gator roll flip into a suplex. This is where then he hits like this, like a jackhammer hybrid of a brain buster. This is where then we got. This is where we got Tama Tonga then start hitting some right hands to the head of onto LA Knight. This is where then so it's called like, yeah, you're doing a very fantastic job. Like now you need to finish him off by hitting your moves. Like after hitting some right strikes, this is where we got the one half of the Tongans then goes up right into the middle ropes in the bottom left side. This is where then he started mocking LA Knight. And he's like, and this is where he's like, L.A. nah, no. And this is where he's trying to go for an elbow drop, but only for him to miss by probably a 1 point. Well, it's at 1.3 milliliters, I guess you could say. This is where then we got LA Knight start hitting some right hands onto the head. This is where then we got him start going for them. What's it called? Some stroking punches, like if he's like the American Dream. This is where then he hits a discus clothesline after he got done with the strokes. This is where he hits another clothesline, which was more like a running clothesline, running off the top corner back down. This is where he throws him right to the bottom left corner, face first turnbuckle, hit a swinging neck breaker. LA Knight then go for the jetpack power slam. This is where then LA Knight's like this will be you if you won't stop if you don't stop getting involved. This is where LA Knight then tap his finger to his tongue, like he's about to write something in like some very dry ink. This is where then he did like LA Knight, and this is where he read it all over Tama Tonga by hitting this signature elbow drop, right run to the left side. You got to hit his finisher, which is the BFT. We all know it is. But it's where before he can even hit the maneuver, this is where I believe this is where then LA Knight to try to go for a BFT, but only for him to get thrown into the right corner slide by what's his name? By Tama Tonga when he's trying to hit the maneuver on him. Only for him to try to close him out of the ring, but this is where he gets elbowed by LA Knight. This is where the referee was distracted by him by seeing if he's okay. So the coach I hit a Samoan spike. Only for LA Knight hit a big old right hand. This is where this is where Tama Tonga thought he won because he was rolling right to the left side after he goes for the pin. This is where then he told you realized that it was only just a 999 double mind 0.1 away from being 3. Like this is where LA Knight goes for a duck out of a clothesline, hits the BFT. 1, 2, 3, winner of this match. We know it's a guarantee, and I just kind of rhymed right there, even though it was in the obvious fashion, but it's true, and he won. But yeah, excuse me for a moment.
Sorry, can we get a roll of, a paper towel?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. Where is it? No, you good. Okay. Here, There you go. You're welcome. But yeah, this is what LA Knight starts celebrating with the and then right off the entrance. And what are your thoughts on this little throwaway match that was announced at the last second, like just because of the segment, and also like we got Paul Heyman waiting outside to meet his tribal chief, which we all know is the OTC Roman Reigns. But yeah, thank you so much. Like he's doing very good. Thank you for asking that. But yeah, like just like just like a little it's in a little pain. But yeah, other than that, he's doing fine. But yeah, that's when Byron Saxton was asking like about an indication about CM Punk's given to Paul Heyman about the favor. This is where Paul Heyman started mocking him. He's like, I'm. And this is where he's like, I don't know, like, what's about his favor. And like, I don't know why you keep asking me these questions. You're trying to be like a male version of that one girl that we don't mention anymore. And then this is where we got, and this is where the Paul Heyman then, so and why am I even telling this to you about this? Where he started giving like almost about to spill the beans about the favor. It was like, no, give me this camera. Like, look at me. Like, ladies and gentlemen, like I'm saying this for the record. Like, CM Punk, like and on record, like, okay, no matter what the favor is that Punk's asking me, like my answer, anything is yes. And I was like, I wouldn't go that far, but. Considering that the OTC was right behind him because he was driving, or his special driver was right behind. It's where then he was keep repeating himself, saying completely immediately what you want. It is a yes, and then this where then like yes, and this is where turn around and he's like, and now finally my tribal chief, you have arrived, and before he can realize it's Roman Reigns. And that's where then there was not Roman Reigns, unfortunately, like that. And that's where he's like, aha, like, hey, Paul. And that's where he's like, even though I ain't never done this before, like, like you're talking about the other guy of acknowledgement, the other Shield guy, which he referenced that it is the tribal chief Roman Reigns. But it's where then he took the shades off, and he's like, you look horrible, man. Like, you look completely awful. Like, I seen you way better. Like, I've seen you bad before, but I think this is the most like awful state that you've ever been, even more bad than when you were overly stressed about when Solo nearly took over the bloodline and in the tribal kingdom. And he was like, yeah, like I, on the other hand, like I had a great week. Like since I got away from these big CM Punk and main eventing celebration, like I'd be able to gain some perspective. Like I'd be able to come before my plan. And it's like, you know what I was thinking, Paul? Like, yeah, like we didn't put his arm up. Like this favorite thing, man. Like you really done yourself into a corner, if not a hole. Like at this point, like this where see. And this is where he's like, I wish you very best of luck on that. Like, but it's still gonna be all right. And then this is where then we got and this is where then and this is where then you walk right out. This is where this is where we see all of them on tonight's Raw. I mean SmackDown. Well, I was about to say the other show like that WWE does every week, which is on Mondays. But this is where we got like a little face-to-face promo battle segment between the challenger and the women's 2025 Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair and the reigning defending women's champion Tiffany Stratton. They were in face-to-face segment like with who was it? Was Wade Barrett was in the ring to make sure that there's not going to be any physicality involved, like a commentator would do like over at the other company, like with their Italian commentator, or Italian American, I should say, because I think he's from America. But anyway, this is where we got Wade Barrett was like I was volunteering, for, as you know, like for these for you guys in the ring or in the audience or even watching at home or unaware of what my position is, like it's like I voluntarily it's help am helping to moderate this the two of you. Like first, like you want to welcome the WWE Women's Champion, which is Tiffany Stratton. This is where Tiffany Stratton did her pose, like because yeah, she's more of a fan favorite than she ever was before. And this is where then and then this was you like an and your WrestleMania opponent, like the 2025 like Women's Royal Rumble, and this is where fans gave her the biggest boo. Like if she's a female Dirty Dominic Mysterio, this is where then when Wade Barrett didn't say her name, this is where they booed her even louder. This is where they were wooing too. And I guess I say Charlotte's right. If they're not wooing, they're booing. If they're not booing, they're wooing because it rhymes, so it's true, like double times. But anyways, this is where we got Charlotte first. Like, see, now that's what you call it loyal fan. That's where Tiffany Stratton corrected her by asking the Chicago fans like, "What time is it?" And that's where they start chanting "Tiffy time," and this where it's like, see, like they are the one of this is where Charlotte like, okay, that was cute. Like playtime is over, like. And that's where the way Barrett then say like, okay, I'm gonna start off with you with the questions, like, and I want to ask you, why did you? I want to ask you like something that we haven't asked like in ever since you chose the champ. Like, why did you choose Tiffany Stratton as your opponent for the Showcase of the Immortals? And it's like, and then also, like, do you still agree after recent interaction with her, like that was the wise choice? And this was Sean Flair then made the that's where then he this is where then she resonates with the with the former man that gives out bad news, like saying like, well, like she wanted a gift, and I am the gift that keeps on giving. Like she wanted a moment, and I had to. I haven't did no charity work lately, like so. I thought I might volunteer, like to do so. And this is where it's like, and every single week it works through, doesn't it, Tiff? And this is where that you could do, like, so you're right. Like I did make the right choice, Wade. Like you know why? Because I want to show the smartest wrestling fans in the world here in Chicago, is like that there is no comparisons between the two of us. And this is where Tiffany's like, yeah, maybe you're right on one thing about that, but this is where then Tiffany Stratton's like, but I want to ask you, are you done? Like, why not answering the question? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But anyway, this is where we got Tiffany Stratton and is it are you done? Like because like if she doesn't stop talking, it's gonna be like this whole like thing is gonna be ruined. Like when she I guess she used the name of the catchphrase in vain of the Flair family, but I think she was doing it against Charlotte at the same time. But this is where Tiffy then continues in like now listen, Charlotte, like what was it like he said next? I'm trying to remember in very particular words. Like, well, I can't do it all, but I can say what exactly she said next. It was like this competitor has never been in this ring. Your biggest competitor has been them, and no matter how hard you try, Sean, like you know how you out for, that's a battle that you never will win. And this is where it's kind of similar to like the John Cena and Cody Rhodes kind of situation with the young fan favorite baby face is more of a of more uh more cheering and the main event hero that the fans were looking for. Like while like guys and girls like Cena and Flair have been trying to look for that for a long time, but they always been known for taking opportunities for the young stars, which I'll say that can be arguably like accurate. Like no matter how much you would state this like in any different shape or form. But anyway, this is where then Tiffany Stratton can do like you want to put on this facade about that. Nothing will get you. You're above everybody else. Like you've been crying on some boo talk show. Like you're talking about you've been crying on a boo-hoo talk show, which that was a reference to her being interviewed by Sherry Shepherds about a day ago. Yeah, back on. Thursday, was it? But anyways, about like this is where they start talking about like she said like nobody don't care about your boo hoo stop story like when you were boo hooing at that talk show like which she references I was like cracking up, which probably deserves a silver trophy tonight. This was and the saddest part about it like no matter how titles you win like you could break all the records of going when all said and done like you will always come to second to your daddy and that is the nature boy himself Ric Flair. And this where then and that's where then she started probably getting some flashbacks and PTSD about that way well being known being second best, like right after her dad. Yeah. Which that's been a key figure of of why she's trying to be taking a lot of opportunities to show that she's like far from being under the shadow of her own father, and that could be the case at WrestleMania this year. Like given all her track records of winning all types of women's championships, which I'm not gonna get into full detail on, but I'm just saying like, but yeah, and this is what you're like, and just like your father, you're also going to be second to me, like Tiffany Stratton at the biggest showcase event. And I was like, if it's any other time, I would say yeah, agree because like maybe she been taking too many opportunities from so many younger women, and I can name like probably a few and one in particular, but I'm not going to get into details on that. But this is where Charlotte Flair was like, you know, like you're not just the first, but this is where the fans start booing. Like where there's like you hear that that's power. Which when Tiffany Stratton did kind of promo, kind of roasting Charlotte Flair about her being second to her father, kind of sounds like a heel promo, but at the same time, it's a babyface one that which WWE knows like it may be like have some kind of a heelish edge into it, but it's a it's more of a the fans will probably cheer for it. That's why she's the baby face at this point. But this is where then we got Charlotte Flair that was like, you really think you're on top of the world, aren't you? Just because you're a champion. This is where she's like, but I'll have to talk to you, Chicago. This is where I was like normally I'll say a lot of good stuff, but I'll say on the CM Punk side of things, I'll say yes. But when it comes to booing other women, like that probably knew about knew so much about like Charlotte Flair. As a matter of fact, probably even had a big time like high profiling rivalry, which are probably not all good though at the same time. But yeah, like it, but yeah, it was memorable, but probably in the wrong reasons, but still was like high stakes. But yeah, but the point is like, but yeah, yeah, they they were booing her like they were doing to the other wrestlers that have history with Charlotte, but I would say maybe Charlotte deserve it, but what about the other one? Did they deserve it? But that'll be a different conversation for a different. But this was Charlotte, like this was like you're like this is where then she was like you're nowhere near to being the first opponent of mine for the last 10 years. Like you really think that you're my first opponent that I'm second to my dad? Like that said that like you know how much people said that about me like ever since I've been in this industry or even before I even got into this industry. Like no, Chicago, like I guess, like, if I have to come to go second, but this is where she got immediately interrupted by the overwhelming waves of boos by the Chicago fans. Is where then this is where they're like, oh, like you guys is just you're not like get any louder, can you? This is where fans start chanting for Tiffany or Tiffy or Tiffany Stratton onto this is where then she didn't get. This is where the fans are even then turning to Tiffany to Tiffy time. This where then Charlotte's like, it doesn't matter if you win 100 women's tip. This where then she stopped herself from even saying the part of champions. This where then she stopped herself like even like she looked like she was about to say, despite the fans booing over booing her louder. This is where then Tiffany starts like, oh, what's the matter, Charlotte? Like the cat got into your tongue. Like this is where then Charlotte was like, oh no, so like they're booing so loud, like making that as an excuse why she didn't say it, which we all know like she could still say. Anyway, this was Charlotte like. Like what? Okay, Chicago. What would you like me to say for you to stop booing? Okay, that's very cool because here's the thing, Tiffy. Like Tiffy can win. But this is where before she can even say it, with her getting over booed. This is where when she went closer to Charlotte, this is where Wade Bear's like, okay, back up just a little bit, like no, get too closer. Like I promise there won't be no physicality involved. This is where the Charlotte, like, Tiffany, like you can have the last word, like. And this is where Tiffany Stratton's like, okay, I'll go out with pleasure. Charlotte, at the age of 25 years old, what were you doing? Like, you were trying to become a volleyball player. And all you're doing was just training in your daddy's basement of wishing to be one. And then this where then she was like, and what I've been doing at the age of 25, like I'm walking at WrestleMania as your WWE Women's Champion. And this where fans are cheering, like, I know that's right. Like, yeah, like we'd expected you to walk out of there, just walk out as the new champion, but it looked like you could just remain as the champion, retain that just makes it even better. But I was like, and gee, I was wondering like who has been that particular championship at the age of 25, but it was not much of a great championship because due to the previous old management at the time, if it was like the new management, they will be thriving just like Tiffy, but like at that age. But that's a different story in a different video for a different day. But it's where we got Tiffany Stratton. Like, yeah, like it seemed like I cut right in front of you, Charlotte, like of success. And your run like in your like WrestleMania record breaking a 3 or 4, like maybe you be the queen inside the ring, but as to be would come to be queen outside the ring, you're not the queen of sugar honey iced tea. And this is what Shaw Flair couldn't even believe it. She was like, what did you just say? And then I was like, she did not just say that. It looked like it was about to be uncensored, but it got muted out at the last second. I'm like, damn, like, did you really just say that? Like, and I was like, maybe if it was on Netflix, like since like when Cody Rhodes called like John Cena, well, the the not so PG word of sugar honey iced tea. Like, yeah, like they did not censor it. I was like, maybe if it was on Netflix, they would have been. Tiffany would have been lucky that line did not got censored out. But this is where like because they're on a streaming platform. But this is where Shaw Fair like, what you said, Tiffany? Like I couldn't hear you because like yeah, like what was that? This is where Tiffany started like, and for 16 more days. And that's where I believe they kind of spoiled like what day is the match is gonna be, which I believe they preferred to be on the night 2 on Sunday, which I wouldn't be surprised if that opened up night 2. Yeah, like it's possible, but we're gonna see like in the and that's what it is like yeah, like this is WWE's least favorite nipple baby. Like, and congratulations was at the line that John Cena said to that's what she was like. I'm the knuckle baby, like number one, the number one queen, and I'll forever be number one. This is where Tiffany starts like when I beat you, Sean. Like when it's all said and done, like well, like you're just gonna be just like you're outside of the ring, like all alone, which we would never thought you would like roast her in this fourth wall breaking moment by referencing like the fact that she has nobody, like only barely her close family members, like since her latest divorce with Andrade, which that's all going to be talked about all over the internet tomorrow on the IWC. But anyway, this is where we got Tiffany started like, oh, yeah, it's like the rec. Like, what's up my record? Like, what's up my track record? Like 0-3. This is where there's like, whoa, and this is where she rolled out of the ring. This is where Charlotte Flair tried to make herself feel good by pointing out like that Tiffany's boyfriend's been hitting her DMs on all her socials, which we all know is Ludwig Kaiser. Like he's the boyfriend of Tiffany Stratton, but. And this where then she said that's the reason why that he's been DMing me lately. And then I was like, oh boy, like I maybe you heard about the news, and that's probably not the reason why, but it's probably for the fact that I don't know, trying to be a player and trying to I'll say just genuinely trying to stir some controversy like into this feud, with even though it's all on screen stuff. But we're gonna probably get some more details about it like when we talk about the news tomorrow. But it's where Tiffany Stratton ignored Charlotte Flair by just waving as the women's championship, and yeah. But basically, what Tiffany Stratton's saying, she's trying to sound stronger, which I think WWE did a very fantastic job making Tiffany Stratton the more stronger one. If they're trying to make her the fan favorite baby face, like you do it by getting them over, like. And I believe they're trying to do this so, like, in case if they are like planning on having Charlotte taking the W, like they have to make Tiffany Stratton look stronger and having the more of the momentum, like on the road to WrestleMania 41, like similar to like the men's WWE Championship with Cody Rhodes between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. But this is where we got a little bit of a blooper and a mistake here, which that's probably going to be pointed out by WrestleMania, like. Well, maybe not tonight, like when they were in Europe, but maybe tomorrow, like when he does like the good and bad and downright ugly, like review his review video, like by showing that Tiffany Stratton mistakenly had the title upside down, raising up, like looking like if the Miz was holding on to the undisputed WWE Championship by showing the M part, like of the upside down WWE logo. But what are your thoughts onto this promo segment? And do you think they WWE corrected the wrongs from the last couple weeks with when Charlotte Flair been out promoing Tiffany Stratton in WWE? Let me know. I mean, on the SmackDown roster side of things, I should say, of course. Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got the Street Profits come out to watch the match with the fans in the audience, like which was the number one contenders tag team match for DIY's WWE Tag Team Championships. And yeah, this match, totally deserves the bronze trophy. Like while the silver trophy goes to Ray Phoenix's debut match against Nathan Frazier, even though it's supposed to be like some kind of an enhanced match, like with Nathan Frazier like being like compared to like an enhancement talent. Even though we all know him as a tag team star on NXT alongside Axiom in this tag team reign as Fraxium. But anyways, speaking of tag team, like, yeah, we got the Profits, which I believe they should do an update, like how Jey Uso did when he was Intercontinental Champion, which these tag team belts kind of look like a hybrid of the Intercontinental and the World Heavyweight Championships. Like, I was like, how come these are not the World Tag Team Championships? Like, given the fact they look similar to them, and then maybe they should make the World Tag Team Championship like a hybrid of the United States and WWE Championships. But we're going to get into the match, like which totally deserves the third place spot. This is where then we got Johnny Gargano and Chris Sabin starting off the match. And yeah, let's just say, like I said on the beginning of the match, they never have a boring contest when it comes to this rivalry. But this is where they start hitting some arms when Chris Sabin was winning. This is where he sent him in the bottom right corner side. He tags his partner Tommaso Ciampa. He ends up getting arm drag when Tommaso tried to go for a charge. This is where we got an arm bar lock, like right on to with the former NXT and tag team champion. This is where then he goes for like a guillotine hold when he tagged in his tag partner Alex Shelley when he go for a double foot stomp. And not only that, they double eyes with him from the left corner to the right corner, hit the double shoulder tackle and a double super kick onto the midsection of Johnny when he tried to charge at him. This is where he tried to go for an eyes whip right into their own partner. But this is where they did like a little what they call it, like a reversal square dancing, because that's what they did with each other. When they got double Irish whip by Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they try to go and try to hit their striking maneuver only to get dodged by Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They end up going for a wrestling square dance, but they try to go for a clothesline to their opponents on the Motor City Machine Guns in the diagonal side with Tommaso and going to the bottom right, and then Johnny Gargano going to the upper left, only for them to get dodged by Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, respectively, and get knee strike in the process. But this is where they got Tommaso in the ring. This is where then they were thinking about doing a double team, but this is where then Chris Sabin must have told Alex Shelley, like, he's all yours. This is where he started going for elbows right into the head, started hitting some right hands, like, boom, 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 boom. And this is where he started repeatedly doing. This is where he hit the clothesline on the Johnny Gargano, which is his former protege in their time in the independent scene. But this is where then he clotheslines Tommaso right out of the ring. This is where we got Alex Shelley, then go to the right corner side, hit the baseball sliding dive, but this is where Tommaso Ciampa move out of the way. This is where he started chasing after him, only for once he get back in the ring, he tags in Johnny Gargano. This is where he thought he was a legal man. This is where then he ducks out of Tommaso's clothesline. Then he goes to go for an attack while running to the left side, only to get hit with a slingshot spin springboard spear. That's where then John again like, now I finally got my former mentor down. That's where then right after he did that, the partial powerful force in all of pro wrestling came on, which we all know is picture-in-picture break. But once we got done with the partial adverts, this is where then we got that's where we got the Motor City Machine Guns were on top now. Like when tagging Tommaso Ciampa, this is where they started tagging in and out. With Alex Shelley didn't try to go for a pin, but this is where he only got like unfortunate 2.7 count, where everybody hit the skull and bones, only for Johnny Gargano to come in and crash into their little pre-celebration party. But it's where by tripping over Chris Sabin, like while hitting the Sabin family jewels right on to the turnbuckle, like ow, like poor Chris, like hopefully he's already a husband and father, like yeah, but at the same time, even so, like you still don't want to get your jewels crushed. But this is where then we got Tommaso Ciampa throws Alex Shelley out of the ring. This is where then and Tommaso Ciampa, okay, now's my chance. And then this is where then we got Ciampa then grab onto a piece of a turnbuckle pad. This looks like about to whack him into it, like if it's a weapon. Like even for that, like this is where Charles Robinson stopped him. Like, no, you cannot be doing that. Like, yeah, you can even did disqualify, even if it is the most soft weapon in all of pro wrestling. Like it's still like considered a weapon. If you hit it, you're gonna lose by disqualification. This is where Tommaso Ciampa like finally, just throw it out. This is where the Tommaso Ciampa tried to use it onto Chris, use the exposed turnbuckle, like throw right into the face of Xavier. But this is where he stopped him, like, nope, like not today and not any day, Ciampa baby. And then this is where he goes for a schoolboy, which only got him only a 2.1 count, but this is where Tommaso Ciampa hits a knee strike after the most devastating move in all pro wrestling. This is where he tried to go for a signature move, the power bomb backstabber combo. This is where the Tommaso Ciampa go for a pin, only to get a 2.8 count at the last second. Tommaso Ciampa like, come freaking on, like that should have been 3. This is where he tags in Johnny. This is where then we got them trying to go for their double team tag team maneuver, next to their first finisher, the meet in the middle, I believe that's what it's called. And but it's what they call the fairy tale ending and the super kick hybrid, like with Johnny Gargano go for a super kick, with Tommaso Ciampa go for a face buster, Gargano try to go for a pin. But it's where we got they would probably go down the way with it if it wasn't for Sabin's meddling partner, which was Alex Shelley that had to come in for the save. This is where we got but it's where then we got they tagging Johnny Gargano. This is where they try to go for their other finisher, like next to what I just said, like with the super kick, what's that called? Fairy tale ending combo finisher. This is where they try to hit their meeting in the air. This is where it looked like it was about to be like from the last time they fought, but luckily they stopped themselves. This is where then we got Tommaso Ciampa was holding down Chris Sabin, but only for when John Gargano tried going up and attack him, but he only gets kicked in the midsection. This is where he tried to counter throw Tommaso right into Johnny. This is where we got Chris Sabin goes for a knee right into the midsection by going for the atomic drop buster. But this is where we got he got them flipping right over. This is where we got this headlock, this reverse headlock with Tommaso Ciampa's gut, like face first, right into the canvas, while Chris Sabin goes for a drop kick. This is where, like, while Alex Shelley was holding them down, of course. This is where we got them was about to hit their finisher maneuver again, like skull and bones. But it seemed like Johnny Gargano could not get a break of ruining their pre-match celebration by hitting their maneuver. But this time he threw his former mentor Alex Shelley right off the top rope, boom, knocking him off the top. Then we got Chris Sabin hits a right hand. Only for Tommaso Ciampa thought that was going to be a perfect time to take advantage of the moment with Sabin distracted, but only got the 1, got the 2. But Charles Robinson was no fool, or let alone born the day before. Is that is when he looked at when he was at at 2.5, like at 2.5, like a generic quarterback would call on the middle of a play. This is where he looked directly at Tommaso Ciampa's legs, which there was happened to stand right directly on top of the middle ropes on the top corner. This is where he's like, "Hey, you can't be doing that. That's cheating and it's illegal." This is where then Tommaso Ciampa was like, yo, like, I was hanging on my rope. This is where he was in denial until like he tried to go back to Chris Sabin, only for him to send him right face first or maybe throat first into the exposed turnbuckle. That was enough pain to put him away for the 1-2-3, which that's exactly what Chris Sabin did when he hit the most devastating move and all the pro wrestling, which he should have done in the first place. Maybe they would have won sooner. I don't know. Who knows? But either way, their new number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Champions, and them trying to capture it back, is none other than the Motor City Machine Guns. And I was doing the dance of joy. I'm like, yeah, if I'm going to get to see this match, even though, not with Sabin and Shelley as tag team champions, but with the Profits as champions. I mean, either way, it's still going to be a hell of a banger. But it's where, from one tag team to another, is we got the latest edition of Carmelo Hayes and The Miz, whatever you want to call, or Mello Don't Miz, whatever you want to call them. And start discussing some plans for future run with a tag team championship. But this is where they end up running into what's their name, Pretty Deadly. They had some pretty passive aggressive words they want to say to each other. This is where we got. They had a title shot in their own home country last week in London, England, against the Profits. And guess what they did? They fumbled the ball and they lost. It's Pretty Deadly. You call yourself Pretty Deadly. I would call it. I would call yourselves pretty useless. Especially in this division. This where then. And that's where then Carmelo Hayes said his very famous underrated catchphrase by saying, you had an opportunity of a lifetime to score a touchdown, to become tag team champions, but you fumble. And this is where he said his catchphrase: you fumble at the 1-yard line. And then this is where then and then Carmelo's are y'all a tag team or are you the Chicago Bears? Which that was probably a perfect good line. Let's hope that. Let's hope that the players don't hear this from the former NXT champion, or even one of their players if he still is part of the Chicago Bears. I forget his name. What was his name? I totally forgot his name. It starts with letter C, but he's the husband of Simone Biles. They used to play for the Green Bay Packers. But yeah, don't tell any of those guys, or else they would will hand over the rear end of Mello, both Miz and Mello, I should say. I was like, that's probably a true statement, but at the same time, since you're in Chicago, you better be careful you don't run into them in the dark alley. But that's where the Miz is yeah, that was a good one. But either way, they're both a joke. Yeah, and this is where Pretty Deadly is yeah, we're a joke, but we got some jokes for you. Here's the jokes for you. And this is where start naming all the movies that The Miz has only have been that's been released only on DVD and not in theaters. He's let's start with Marine 3 and Marine 4 and Marine 5. And then this is where The Miz at least they all were Marine movies, which they were copied off in probably bootleg version of the first one when John Cena was on. But anyways, it's where and it's yeah, it was all 6 movies. And that's where then what was the name of the track? Who was the star role of the last few? This is where oh yeah, that's right. It was The Miz. And this is when The Miz is unlike you two losers, I'm a 9-time tag team champion, and I can be 10-time with this guy right here. Probably less time than what you had for your opportunity against the Profits. And then this is where The Miz starts saying and as a matter of fact, maybe I can't ask how many times did y'all won, which that was a good point, but if you count NXT, they're probably a 2-time, with them holding on to the UK titles once, and the I'll say the main the regular NXT version titles once as well. But they're pretty dead He was like, well, like I'm not sure if you should answer that. Like you tied with the Dudley boys, but how many tag partners you had to be with, like with those tag team reigns? And I was like, yeah, good point. Like you had so many names, which probably half of them are the competition right now. Like one's a wrestler that's jobbing out to every single wrestler on the roster, while the other is a whale, like or some kind of a sea mammal that's like some kind of aquatic mammal, I should say. That's in gorilla with the owner of the company, which I believe his name is Ant. I totally forget the rest of it, but okay, obviously I'm not forgetting, but yeah. I'm not gonna mention right here, considering this is a WWE review show, so I'm just gonna skip to that. But this is where the Pretty Deadly was like, yeah, you had so many partners, like, but you're with a young hot model here, like, which you probably won't last long with this guy, like you're. And this was like you're basically the Leonardo DiCaprio of professional of tag team wrestling. I mean to say, you're basically the Leonardo of tag team wrestling. That's what he said. Leonardo DiCaprio of tag team wrestling. That's what Elton Prince compared the Miz to. And this is where then and this is where the two-time Grand Slam champion just gave it a very odd stare when he compared him to the to the legendary author. This is where then he this is where the this is where then we got what's his name? What's his name? Like Kit Wilson was like, yeah, like Mel, you happen to be relegated to the Miz, and sit and on the count, like and then on the icing on this tag team saga cake, like how about we you have a match against us, which I believe Pretty Deadly are now officially baby faces, but that's gonna be all over confirmed into the wrestling news tomorrow. And let me know in the comment section right down below about this alone, and who do you think is gonna win this tag team match? I wouldn't be that surprised if Pretty Deadly does actually get the win against this very odd pairing of the Miz and Carmelo Hayes, which I would never thought they would actually be a tag team. I believe they're trying to get something to do so they won't be lost in the shuffles. But even for that, like they still like that doesn't mean you pair each other pair into this manner, even though they are the mid card heels of to the main roster right now. But I guess they're doing what they do. But the one thing I agree about this tag team, it does make sense because like it's the catchphrase of Carmelo Hayes and it's the Miz's name a part of it, like which it makes sense that like Melo don't Miz, but but if they can prove that they are tag team material with one another, I guess I'll give it a try, and we'll put that onto the test for probably next week's SmackDown when they go face to face, like double face to double face against Pretty Deadly. Who do you think is going to win that contest like in the next 7 nights? Let me know in the comments. But this is where we got the B-Fab against Naomi. This was probably not really much of a bad match, which gets the blue ribbon of the night. But let's just say like it does like this is the perfect what's it called? Like follow-up for the feud between Cargill and Naomi, like for WrestleMania 41. And let's just say we get a little bit of confirmations onto that situation. But yeah, I'll say even for this match to be a bit obvious, we still got some pretty good offense for the former Hit Row member of B Fab. Like there's looking like she actually does have a chance to win, even if it's like 25%. But this is where when she tried to go for a roundhouse kick, that's where Naomi then ends up grabbing onto her legs, start trying to hang her to the opposite side. This is where we got Naomi starting some elbows and punches, then trying to put her legs on the top rope to try to hit some kind of a tree of woe position. That's where Naomi started then put her foot right onto the midsection of B-Fab, hitting her back first, right onto the turnbuckles. This is where we got Naomi then. It was picking up the former Hit Row member. This is where she hits her knees right into the face. That what's it called the modified lung blower, and some of the and some people online say like this is like with the police tape like that's around our gear. That's like probably like a paying homage to Owen Hart, like like when his time in WWE, when he wore some similar gear to that. Which I'll take now that they mention it, that does make sense. Next to like Orlando Jordan when he had his version of that kind of gear, like of a custom of his own. And I was like, the funny thing, she's paying homage to Owen Hart, given that there's a tournament based on to his legacy that are best friends entering, which I cannot mention her by name, but it's just a funny coincidence that she's doing this around the same time, even though they're in opposite companies. But anyways, this is where we got this is where Naomi didn't was not done right there. When her got on the microphone saying like, "Jay, like, where the hell are you? Like, because I want to talk to you. Like, and I get and settle this grievances with one another once and for all." But this is where once she turned around, like when she started saying like she is like something, whatever she was about to say. She gets pump kicked right in the face by Jade Cargill, which I assume that's her signature move. This is where we got Jade Cargill was about to finish her off with the jaded, but this is where unfortunately the security guards come in. I was like, what difference does it make of doing this now and what she did a few weeks ago when she did to her when she revealed that she was Naomi's attacker? But maybe it's a good thing that they didn't allow her to do it. So it won't look like that it's gonna be a predictable match. So I can understand why security did it. Like even though it was kind of ridiculous the way they did it. I mean, given that who's the general manager is, which his name rhymes with ridiculous. That's why he gets the nickname from. Which the one that created it, like in kayfabe, of course, surprisingly was not at the show tonight. Normally she would be, but I guess she took the night off. Maybe there was some family time that she had with, whether if it was with somebody in her extended family or her or like a mini family that she has with Matt Cardona. Well, kind of a lack thereof at this time, but you get the point. Like maybe yeah, like I don't know. I just said the name of the, even though he's not under contract over the other company, but he's not really much of showing any signs that he's going to be returning anytime soon. But that doesn't mean that could change in the foreseeable future. But anyways, this is where then we speaking of the guy that has the name that rhymes with nickel. I mean, we're ridiculous. He comes out here. This is where then It's where he then turn it from being ridiculous to unridiculous by giving us fans what we want, and that is a match between Jade Cargill and Naomi at the Showcase of the Immortals event, which shows a sign that WWE is not focusing on the championship angles with the women's card, and they're actually going to be paying attention to the singles actions, like in non-title angles, like especially with this being the perfect example. And who do you think is going to win this match at WrestleMania? Like between the two, let me know in the comments. But and this is where then Damian Priest then had a message to send the Drew McIntyre, which their rivalry has all started back in last year's WrestleMania. Ever since he cashed in on the Scottish Warrior and become the world heavyweight champion, this is where he was like yeah, like your obsession, like it all started with CM Punk, like, and he ends up like you let your ego get the better of you, like, and that's why you lost the title. Like, and I took advantage of the moment, whacking you with the briefcase, then cashed in my briefcase, and then I hit you with the South of Heaven's choke slam. And yeah, the only person that's screwed, like, and the only person you can blame is yourself, Drew. You like, yeah, in that Classic Castle, you did the same thing. Like, it should have been about us, like, but the re-obsession with Punk, it just continued to follow you, like, and it. And again, it made you pay a hefty price by costing you the world heavyweight champion. And this was and that makes me the villain of the story. And then Money in the Bank, same thing. Like you should have been focusing on the ball, but you were distracting what was outside the field, and that was Chick Magnet Punk yet again. When you cashed in, you baggage, like if once followed you again, I remain champion. You screwed yourself up, but I'm end up being the supervillain of this story. Like, right. Like Rumble, Chamber, like I eliminate you from both of them. I threw you out of the ring. I pin you in the Elimination Chamber match. Like, yeah, like it was plain and simple. Like I was supposed to. Like you attacked me like the coward that you are, and you cost me my shot of main event in WrestleMania instead of Cena. And this was and if anybody's a hypocrite here, it's you, Drew McIntyre. And then this is where Damian Priest is like, Like you bitch and complain about everything, and blaming everybody else but yourself, Drew. And then this is where then Damien Priest then said, like, and I know what you are, Drew. Like you are the junkie, like, and you are on this high, like I'm telling these stupidless jokes, like this with these stupid meaningless jokes, like, and you only get a cheap pop for only 5 minutes, like, and you playing the victim, like, and you even try to make like a independent YouTuber like pay a price by claiming that he couldn't even last long like in a relationship. Like, well, he's in a full length, full committed, happily relationship. By the way, well, he didn't say all that. That's my version of Super Ninja Austin saying that. But anyways, this is where we got Damien Priest like you just keep doing this every single damn week, and if I'm speaking to everybody, like, and at the end of the day, like maybe I am your villain, like in the like, and your reign of terror is dead, and it's gonna be at the end at WrestleMania. Like, the only person you can't blame, like, like in the middle of this ring next week, like face to face, like, and it's gonna be eye to eye. Like, I want you to stop playing the victim once and for all, and become like my victim. Like, and it's gonna start at WrestleMania 41. And it's not like how they made this more realistic, like, and they start bringing up stuff from the past year, like when Drew McIntyre had this weird obsession with Punk, which cost him the hold on to the world title for long, and then also keep screwing him out of becoming the world champion yet again, which he always failed. Like for an examples at Clash of the Castle when he had a number one contender opportunity that way, and then when that did not work out, he entered the elimination chamber. I mean, not chamber. I mean the Money in the Bank, which that didn't work out. Even though he did win the briefcase, only for it to be an unsuccessful cash in with Damian Priest retaining, and. When he tried to get a shot at the elimination chamber in the Royal Rumble, guess who get eliminated? Yep, you guessed it. It was Mr. Damian Priest, the former Judgment Day member. But now the Punisher is on his own, and now he wants to put things that he have against Drew McIntyre to rest once and for all as well. And do you think that he will exactly do that, and he get his get his wish, or do you think it's gonna be the other way around with McIntyre being the one to put things to rest against Priest? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But I would say. I'll tell you, but I do like how the elements that they have onto this angle, like they make it more realistic, and it just continues like when in that little real glass incident, wink wink nudge nudge, to a shot at the other company about like something that CM Punk knows about, which Anthony Khan or no, what did they say his name? Shut up, Super Ninja Austin. I mean that which make that guy that goes by Ant like have some really bad PTSD. Like if you ever mention it to him right now, and if you work for him, he probably will fire you. But anyways, this is where we got. Here's where we got Kevin Owens getting out to the ring in a Bret Hart jacket, where it says Hitman in big letters on the side onto his right. But yeah, but as soon as he got into the ring, he delivered some bad news. But before he got into the details on that, this is where he got Nicholas the Ridiculous all to start talking about like it's not going to be very easy, and it's not going to be very happy to hear some very unfortunate news that you're never ever going to wrestle again due to very bad unfortunate injuries. And I believe I heard that Kevin Owens got recently injured like this past week, and now that he that because of that, I'm not sure if it. That's where the Kevin Owens went out of character. Said the reality is the last 4 months, I've been dealing with very serious neck injuries, and we don't know who it was, we don't know how serious it was. Gratefully this week, we managed to figure out my neck, and I'm gonna go get the neck surgery, and it's just a little bit over, roughly over 2 weeks away till WrestleMania, and you know what that means because we got the what's this is what Kevin Owens that's exactly what I need to do, and and the timeline couldn't be worse because let me tell you not getting to be in the ring with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, like me personally, that truly sucks. Like when him speaking on this out of character promo, that's where then Kevin Owens can do like, and I'm really thankful for WWE. And to come allow me to tell you guys right in front of you, like, because the truth is, like, I don't know, like, when the next time I have the privilege to be in front of you guys ever again. Like, this neck injury is very bad. And he's like, but I do know is, like, I can tell you, like the last few years that I've learned not to take everything for granted. Like, I will never, ever will take this for granted ever again. Which the fans were probably very emotional, like, with them giving claps, like, which this is probably unusual what they would do, like, if Kevin was in the ring. But this is what Kevin was like, but for now, like, I would have to say thank you, and I'm truly sorry. Like, I really am. Like, I didn't choose this path, and hereby on the SNA podcast, courtesy of Super Ninja Austin, want to wish all the best of luck and wish and pray a speedy recovery for the prize fighter at this very unfortunate time, because we would have thought that he would be still be clear and healthy enough to compete. Like, unless there's gonna be some kind of an angle to write him off, like at the showcase of with him, like somehow gonna be in the match, only like with Randy Orton keep begging for him to be in the match, and then this is where we can finally see Randy Orton do. Randy Orton was trying to do what he wanted to do, with him hearing the voices in his head. And this getting him doing a punt kick. I wouldn't be surprised if this could turn into an angle, like a double turn, like with Kevin Owens going back as a babyface and Randy Orton turning heel. And this could be a perfect sign, like with them slowly burning into that path, with him could start to turn heel when he attacks Cody Rhodes with an RKO, like in the future down the road, or down the roads, like if pun intended, of course. But seriously, yeah, wish all the full and speedy recovery for Kevin. But when Randy Orton came out, which he was hoping that this was not just a trick, like in this where it's like, please tell me this isn't like a joke or some kind of an elaborate trick to get me out of here. This where he looked very upset, as much as Kevin or even the fans were. This where then he was like no, like don't tell me. This where Kevin Owens was like, yeah. This is where we got Kevin Owens that said something to a fan, like which he might have asked questions, which I believe he probably got out of character, telling them that this is not all part of the script. Like this is this is a serious matter, because like he cannot compete at WrestleMania due to the severe neck injury. And this is where then yeah, KO then said like he's not sure if he'll be back. Like needless to say, this is where this is where fans are chanting Randy as soon as he got in the ring. This is where then Randy Orton must have remembered of giving that $100,000 check fine, like to Nicholas the Ridiculous, all this, like, and told him like when was the next time you'll ever hit those three most destructive letters in all pro wrestling. But before we get into talk about that into the subject, I want to talk about what Nicholas said, like with him, like was trying to be reasonable, but in Randy's eyes and along with the voices that were in his head, that was telling him to do some very unusual things. Like this is what Nicholas then said, like, which sounds ridiculous to the Randy Orton and his voices. This is where he's like, this is where Nicholas like, listen, Randy, like, I hate to be the one to tell you this. There's not no easy other way to say this, but I'm afraid, like since Kevin Owens has a really bad neck injury and he's gonna be needing surgery, like unfortunately you're not gonna have your match at WrestleMania, or you're not going to have a match at WrestleMania at all. This is where the fans are like, no, like what's going on? This is where then Randy Orton's like, this is not happening. This is not. This is where then he bends down. This is where then he was like, why this is happening to me right now? Looking towards the left. This is where then he bends right back up, and you will not believe what he did when he got his torso right back up. Like once he looked directly at a second glance at Nicholas the Ridiculous, which he found even though he had no other way to say this, but it was ridiculous. And this is where then they finally cashed out the other half of the fine, 50,000. You better not ask to pay the 50,000 fine because Randy Orton hit an RKO on the Nicholas. Ridiculous. A long year or year and a half waiting for him to hit the RKO onto the Nicholas. Ever since he got drafted back to SmackDown when he hit the RKO the first time, and he did tell him when he gave him $100,000, even though the fine was 50,000. With Nicholas at the time was asking a question. I believe I talked about that on my other channel at Super Ninja Austin 213. And Randy Orton's but the other half is when the next time happens, which they're going to be paying off the fine for RKO this time with that $50,000. But anyways, this is where Randy Orton okay, that was a little satisfying, even though they're not satisfying enough, as much as kicking what's his name Kevin Owens in the head. This is gonna be turned into an angle of Nicholas probably getting back in the ring. And do you think if Kevin Owens not gonna fight Randy Orton, do you think that that Nicholas will be the substitute at WrestleMania to give Randy Orton a match? And I would say generally, this is going to be a very perfectly awesome build towards this, because this is a long-awaited dream match. For those that are big time TNA and WWE fans, from their respective times in their early days, when they were winning world championships in their respective companies. And now we probably get the chance to see a match between the Viper and the ridiculous SmackDown general manager. But let me know in the comments down below if this is going to lead towards that. But this is where then we got. But this is where Randy Orton still look at the WrestleMania sign, saying he's still gonna make it to WrestleMania one way or another, just like how Rhea Ripley was doing into the women's angle, for the women's world championship to win back her title, and even trying to add herself in the match between Bianca and Io Sky, which Adam Pearce said that doesn't work that way. But they did grant her a shot at the Women's World Championship against Io with Bianca Belair special guest referee, but only for Bianca Belair to call for the bell. With her kind of acting heelish, and I had a couple of fellow YouTubers said she called the way she called after getting attacked only just a couple of times, it was kind of like a heel move, like that her being maybe a bit too sensitive, yeah. But let me know about this in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got some kind of what's that called, a little Snickers what was that, a little what's that called, the Snickers vignette video with Hulk Hogan teaming with what's his name, Mr. T, at the very first WrestleMania, in 1985. But this is where we got Mr. What was his name? The new ring announcer, Mark Nash. That's his name, Mark Nash. That's where then he announced the next match, which is the main event, which is gonna get the Golden Coat Trophy of the night for the WWE number one contenders match for the WWE United States Championship. This is where we got Jacob Fatu, then ends up going for an early attack on the Braun Strowman. Once they start going, this is where we got Jacob Fatu at the triple springboard sporting jump moonsault. This is where we got. This is where we got Braun Strowman. This is where then. This is where we got Braun Strowman kicking it up at the count of 8, if I'm mistaken. This is where we got the partial powerful force, and all of pro wrestling came on after that didn't work out. This is where they started going at it in the ringside area. But once they got done with the ad versus where we got Braun Strowman then ends up going underneath the ring. This is where then he started looking what they want. This is where they got what they want. This is where the fans start chanting, "We want tables." We all know that's the most fan favorite and the most popular weapon in all of professional wrestling, especially when it comes to no disqualification stipulated matches. This is where then Braun Strowman grab onto the table. This is where it's like, who wants to see me throw Jacob right into this table. This is where he did. This is where them got Braun Strowman to try to come in, hits a big old right knuckle like right into the jaw. This is where Braun Strowman grab onto the table, try to put it together. This is where then. But this is where he only got like probably halfway like up. This is where he rated right into the right corner side. This is where that was. Let's say a little bit of a spoilers perspective. That's gonna be the match finish when somebody gets thrown right through it. But I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. But this is where they try to attempt to go for the move, only for their plans to keep getting backfired, like with them being unsuccessful with them throwing each other. This is where Braun Strowman, once both men got back up, this is where they try to close it, but Jacob Fatu pulled down the ropes down. Smart move of the Samoan werewolf to do so. This is where we got Jacob Fatu, then go right to the left corner side. This is where then he goes for a suicide dive right onto the Braun Strowman, knocking him right over out on the announce table. Smart move for Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett to move out in the last second when they saw the two behemoths like that came right into the outside. This is where we got the. This is where we got what's her name? This female referee, I totally forget their name, but it's where she started counting like until you had to count of 5. Jacob Fatu tried to go for a running hip attack, only for Braun Strowman to hit him face first with the steel chair, like boom, hit him right directly in the forehead, like bam, he whacked him right in the head, which I was like, dang, like when was the last time I saw a chair shot right in the head, especially very brutal, like. I heard that they used to have been banned, but now I guess they're using it sparingly these days. But he whacked him directly in the face, like if it was like The Rock doing it to Ken Shamrock or JBL doing it to Eddie Guerrero or someone like that. But this is where Braun Strowman ran right around the corner. This is where he goes for a crossbody on the Jacob Fatu. Boom! And he ran right into the what's it called? The barricade, Barry's tombstone, I meant to say, of the barricade in the bottom right side, where the fans are chanting "Holy Sugar, Honey, Iced Tea" repeatedly. Who could blame them? This is where we got the female referee start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is where then I believe at the count of 7, actually, this is where then they both got back up barely. But once they did, this is where they showed a replay of what Braun Strowman did to the Samoan werewolf by hitting the crossbody on him. Boom! And this is where they ran right into the what's it called, into Barry's tombstone, like in the bottom right corner, just comploding it right directly into that side. But yeah, this is where we got another powerful force in all of pro wrestling, like probably the second one before the last. And this is where they start going around the arena, even in the outside, with Braun Strowman flipping, what's his name? Jacob Fatu, with these not stacked up, these piles of chairs, not chairs, I mean tables, into the bottom corner's audience. This is where then he did a back body drop in the process, with even him falling down, with them going directly right into these tables while falling off the top corners, what's it called? Right into the box-like on top of the box-like structures until they got back into the ring somehow. I don't know how, but somehow Jacob Fatu found Braun Strowman in the ring with him barely getting up. He hits a running hip attack right onto him, falling. They both fall right to the exact same table that Braun Strowman wedged up in the upper left side, and you will not believe who got the win. Without any interferences with Solo Sikoa being involved, which I was like, I'm surprised like this did not happen, like considering the fact that it looked like they're about to be what's it called, building things up into a WrestleMania 41 showdown, but it looks like that's going to be saved for a different time. But this is where Jacob Fatu got back up before the count of 9. This is where then as soon as the referee counted 10, he already was up, hanging on to the left side ropes with Braun Strowman still struggling to get up. He just fell right back down when he was like halfway. And the winner of this match, and the last man standing, Jacob Fatu. Okay, excuse me for a second. Oh, yeah, come in. Yeah, you've been done for like a half an hour. Okay, yes, sir. I'm gonna be on my way now. Excuse me for a sec. That was very delicious. Mhm.
Um, I've been here tacos, but
That's fine.
you might want to work on nothing.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Then with the tacos.
Like 10, 20, like 10 or 20 seconds. Yeah. I think that probably just 20 seconds.
He doesn't have lettuce, he just made one.
Oh, okay.
This is the meat. And
That's perfectly fine.
I left him like that, so it would be able to warm it up with some lettuce.
Well, with triple up, right, that's good when it melts together. Oh,
And then I'll put that red on.
thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Oh, also, what time did you see Baby in Black Bottle?
That was like probably around,
Was it right when we got
like,
there?
yeah, like 10:30. Yeah.
Or was I going here?
If I'm mistaken,
Over here a minute.
12:15, 12:20.
How long before we got ready? Was it long?
It was a little while, like probably
An
like,
hour? Before we got
yeah, it was probably like an hour, yeah. Yeah, I think it was like a good hour, yeah. If I'm mistaken, yeah. Mhm. What kind of taco sauce are you?
the medium, lots of cereal.
Okay, I'll take some of that. Oh, you said Joey can give me this song?
Yeah, we do that afterwards.
Yeah, sure. What kind of sauce you want? The mild or
Medium.
the medium or no, or take El Paso? The medium El Paso. In the refrigerator.
I mean, I think it goes in the sauce.
Oh, take it. Okay, I see it. I don't want them spicy messing up my stomach. What do you think? Bro,
With some sugar.
are you sure for that sauce? I think that's where you just don't want to go to bed too. You don't keep it stuff. Here you go. You're welcome. Oh, all right. After I felt it, it made me weak and tired. Yeah, I feel weak and tired. I feel like that. What, babe? It's going to make me go. I thought he wanted to sleep. No, we can all get the legs again. Huh? They must stay warm that way. I guess what the solution is. Well, like you start to get headache. excuse me. Hold on. Um, okay, I better hurry up. Man, when you put the sauce on my top of the box, please. All right, assassinators, I'm back here. Yeah, we got Jacob Fatu won the match. Right, and he's officially the number one contender for the WWE United States Championship against LA Knight. Yeah, of course. And who do you think's gonna walk out as who do you think's gonna win in this match between the Megastar and Simone Werewolf in the future match? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. Yeah, Taco. It's getting late and it's way past dinner time, and yeah, like I was getting a bit hungry on top of that, so yeah, I got this. Still gonna review the video, but people got Solo and Thomas came out. They support their cousin. This wearing up. This wearing up. But this is where we showed a recap of. We really show a vignette of Cody Rhodes and John Cena's promo battle, the last one before the biggest event of the year. With them even just putting out like the references of a chair of the promoter at the rival company and the former promoter of this company by saying like John Cena told Cody Rhodes that he made empires for billionaires. All he did is steal the kids' money. And Cody Rhodes said he was just a little science experiment for a guy that used to be the owner of a company that you don't talk about anymore. And it was that ended with when Cody Rhodes said like there's one time that the wrestling fan did not tell him that he cannot wrestle. This is like so who won the night and who lost. But Ray Phoenix won his debut while LA Knight beating Tamatanga. Yeah, Ray Phoenix beat Nathan Frazier and Motion Machine Guns against what there was a DIY. They earned themselves a number one contendership match against the Street Profits. And Naomi beat Fab while Jacob Fatu beat Braun Strowman in the number one contender match for the WWE United States Championship. But it's gonna be like WrestleMania. But let's get into the segment that we all been waiting for. And then we finally found the OTC with Paul Heyman's like, my tribal chief, you finally arrived. No, time to do this, not heard that a certain punk like wanted to speak to me. This is where they're headed out to the arena to address this. This is where, oh yeah, before we got this is where what's his name? Byron Saxon asked for any update about the tribal chief's arrival. This is where he started mocking him like, why are you still talking to me? Which yeah, Byron Saxon started to be like the male version uh, of a former journalistic correspondent like that of WWE that we used to make fun of, but now that they don't mention her by because she's no longer in the company, of course, unfortunately. And then it showed that it's even more of a new era in WWE. But yeah, this is where then we got yeah, this is where he said Chicago, like yeah, you're here and y'all all here to acknowledge me, even though y'all. Yeah, if that's like seeing we start shouting to him. It was everybody, everybody cheering for him when he started shouting out to him. Like, hello, Chicago. This is where the fans, this is where Roman Reigns like, acknowledge me now. This is where fans start cheering OTC for him because here's the OTC. This is where, like, now, wise man. Literally, probably, yeah, my father was smile with his hands together. This is where he's like, asked it. As a guy here. Now, like, imagine watching this if you haven't been watching WWE SmackDown or any other show in WWE programming for the last almost 4 years in 2021. You'll be thinking like young Chicago, right? You know, when everything changing now, that you would probably think like, okay, in Chicago, you're going to CM Punk. Yeah, any over at the other company that's competitive against WWE. And what Roman Reigns referring to is he here, like, like, why has he not had his championship? That's what the fan have been under a rock for probably in the last 3.5 years, will probably would say. That's where I see why you see that, and then you'll probably see a guy is chanting is CM Punk. This were like, wait, CM Punk's back in WWE, like, but how? You could probably know that uh, the old regime would say it's where and this new this is where it's like and this is where they ask like is that guy that we can't mention like we'll still probably say name like is allowing this to happen like well like and somebody probably was shockingly would give a new person they like well like he retired due to scandal and controversy but so it's company to a parent company of USC. Which I'll say, I'll feel bad for that person that's been lying under a rock for since then. But it's where then Roman Reigns like it's CM Punk here, like you still talking about his favorite. This is where he starts saying, "Yes, my tribal chief." It's like that's what made Roman Reigns even more in an angry mood. This was like, well, Chicago, I don't know how to deal with this guy, this chick magnet guy. Like, huh? Like, involved me. The problem is, yeah, like, it was like, remember the y'all share secret Chicago's or fans like, yes, we would love to hear it regardless. Even if it's something bad for us. It's like we got CM Punk, like, uh, like he wouldn't even be back here if it wasn't for me, which was a mixed reaction. We thought like he even had me reacting in a certain way too. I was like, I questioned like, wait, like, what do you mean by that? Like, if that was so, like, who would have been going after the OTC in the first place? He's been back for probably the last year and a half. But anyway, it's like maybe one of the reasons why, or maybe the one reason I don't think no reason. I think that one particular reason is because I was like, I can think of three good reasons why he's back, and maybe Roman Reigns happens to be one of them. But I don't really the primary, let alone that doesn't mean it's the primary, let alone the only reason why the chick magnet Second City Saint is back in WWE. This is where we also have one thing right about Punk. The reason why he's gonna do what he's gonna do is because the Tribal Chief is that his main event in WrestleMania. This is where a fan, like it or not, this is where they're like, yeah, like we got. This is where the rumors are mocking the Chicago fans. They're like, yeah, y'all like him because he got me in the same seat. They're like, yeah, I like him. He's from Chicago. Yeah. That don't mean we're not smart. This put me on forever. Like everyone and the son. Like he wrestled champions, Hall of Famers, legends, you name it. Like he's trying to be a legend himself. But the only thing he haven't done is main event WrestleMania, where he said in the mockery voice, by pointing at the sign, like at the right side, is where he's like, now you got to answer to the Tribal Chief. And this is where the Roman Reigns continue. When he's like, I think I reckon to the wise man, like after looking down, get the fans like saying OTC, because they don't know what to make up their mind about what their favorite letter nicknames there. Then the woman's like, they're setting the Tribal Chief in your city, Punk. And I'm in the ring. I've always been the chick magnet behind the ring right now. And it's like, now what we hear, what's just fan favorites have to say is that normally, like, we see something like Punk would come out, like him hearing his name because he understood the rules perfectly, like on page 1408. But we did not got the best in the world in Second City Saint rather than the other opponent and competitor in the triple threat match, Seth freaking Rollins. Roman was waiting, where Rollins came up. Everybody started cracking up like, ha 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 ha. And the fans are singing along his song. It's like, I'm marching all around the ring. I'm looking directly at the pair of Paul and Roman. Like, cancer making Punk, his hometown is even chanting my name, or chanting my song. Like, whoa, whoa. And this is where everyone was like, yeah, I am the visionary, I am the revolutionary. There's an iron step, and this is where fans is sitting saying, freaking Rollins. And this is where he's like, now I will miss, like, wasn't missing the world, laughing, like, saying that he don't know about, like, as little favor CM Punk had going on for Paul, but we didn't bring it up in sarcasm there. But the reality is that now he's gonna knock your socks out. Something tells me, Roman. Like, hey, man, like you don't do the job very well. Like, we got, like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, we have to live in the real world. Like, next time we step out in the outside world, like, in the universe, like, reality, but will definitely bite you directly in the ass, like something you don't know about, Roman. And then this way, like, I want to be a little history. I'll do a little history lesson, but but I'm gonna have to say this, like, to prove my point about you, Roman. Like Exhibit A, which starts with Exhibit A from 10 years ago when I did the heist of the century, like cast. And this way, then he referenced the time where he cashed in on him by first shot at the world championship against a certain some kind of carnated beast, like was champion at the time at this time of the year, like until he lost it to Seth Rollins thanks to his cash in and performed the heist of the century about a decade ago. But it was like an Exhibit B, the main event of WrestleMania, last year, like when not only they fought in a tag team match with their respective partners, with Cody team with Rollins, while Roman's own cousin, The Rock, team with him, and like with him helping Cody out, beating Roman Reigns for the WWE title. This where the And this is where the fans are asking what's the favor by chanting it out in the arena, even though Punk was even out there to reveal it, which let's just say he kind of did, but at the same time, it still left like a cliffhanger, if that makes sense. Here's where Seth Rollins didn't heard this. This is where he's like, well, I'm thinking the same thing right about now, Chicago. Like, why don't you ask your favorite hero that question? Like, I don't even know what the favorite. And here's where going up. You know, he's like, like, I have to worry, but I have to worry about CM Punk. Like something that you think that you don't have to worry about, but you have to worry about him at the. And he was like, you cannot just take him, you cannot make him go away. Like I tried that myself before. Like it doesn't work. Now he's in the main event with us at WrestleMania. Like that is the reality. Like that I have to deal with right now, Roman. All things because of you. Like we're obviously blaming this with like you could have stopped him at War Games, like, but you didn't. You decided to do business with him, like, and maybe you could have stopped. You could have immediately let me end it like in the steel cage at Madison Square Garden, and you could have worried about attacking me afterwards. But no, you did not let me do that. Seth Rollins said this where he's like you did. Like now, here we are right now. Fast forward. Now we're waiting for this favor to happen, like that we don't even know about, which is very confusing. Which we all thought they would to get a shot at the main event WrestleMania, but that wasn't the case at all. Which I try to tell everybody, like on the IWC, but it seemed like nobody wasn't listening in on the like especially on YouTube, like when I give out my opinion about this, which it looks like that I was gonna be right the whole time. I tried to say this myself, but it just seems like that it did not. I did not. Yeah, in my and it was Seth Rollins like I took a week off, and I now I took some perspective. I understand that, like the reality, like I give you two options in life, like whether if you suffer and get left behind. For dead, leaving for dead, or you either adapt, like you control the reality. Which I'll say that's not really a lie when you think about it. Like when you think about these options, like of choices in life. But anyway, this is where then we got Seth Rollins and continue on to the promo. But oh no, before this is where Roman Reigns responded back saying like the reality is that I'm saying like you are an untrustworthy human being, which that's true. Like considering his track record from the past 11 years, which Roman Reigns will probably never forget. That probably even you probably give him some kind of PTSD even when he sleeps at night, like when every time he has his back turned, even though like he might be having his back turned with his own wife in bed. But anyways, like but he still thinks about that night where he got whacked back first into the steel chair, which even my whole family that was watching with me live on that episode of Monday Night Raw could even look back into that, which they will not forget that Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns in that back with that steel chair right after Triple H said there's always will be a plan B. Which even the fan that was in attendance would shout out, no, which you already knew that Seth Rollins about to whack him with the steel chair, which I was not expecting that. Maybe if it was me now, I probably would have expected something like that, even though I probably wouldn't have even if I probably wouldn't heard any of the speculations about the split with Seth Rollins being the one turning heel. But this is where Seth Rollins and continue with Roman Reigns saying like, I can say the same about you about reality, but it seems like you don't have no clue about what that means. And it sounds like with a promo, like when a certain wrestler would say that used to wrestle here, that's now the other company is the former world champion, just like the OTC, but in that company in particular, I would say like if he was in the promo battle with your boy SNA, like if he was said right, but anyway, that's a different, like I said, video for a different day, but. That's where it's like, but the thing is, like, I didn't call you out here, Rollins. I called Punk out here, which he was hoping for CM Punk to come out, not Seth Rollins. This is where fans are chanting Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. Like if he's Cody Rhodes, like with the European fans were saying, like when they were all over Europe, like in France, Italy, Germany, England, and Scotland. But yeah, that's where then Seth Rollins like like you want to see a Punk? Well, I'm out here to hear from the chick magnet as well. And this is where the visionary also continued on the promo saying like there's only one way to find out is to hear him. This is where he looked directly out into the Titantron on the entrance, and we finally got to see CM Punk come out here to join Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins onto this little three-way meeting, like before their showdown at WrestleMania. This is where CM Punk finally come out here to finally reveal, like, well, sort of like the favor that he wants from Paul Heyman, like helping Roman Reigns out at War Games last November. But this where then he came out here. This where then it where and we got Seth Rollins is hanging into the corner in the top side is where CM Punk looked directly face to face with both Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman that was beside him. This is where he's like, yep, like the favor. You want to talk about the favor, huh? Like, what is the favor in the sarcastic questions? This word, and he was like this is all about friendship. Like this is about legacy. Like it's about promises made. Like that's gonna be kept. Like this is all about like loyalty. Which when he said that, he looked directly at Seth Rollins because that's the meaning that Seth Rollins doesn't know about. Like, hey, what up, guys? Yeah, how y'all how y'all doing? Yeah, thank you so much. Welcome to the SNA podcast. Yeah. Hoping you're enjoying the video because it's just getting more interesting. Like what I'm talking about right now about like CM Punk revealing the favor, about like what exactly is the favor that Paul Heyman promised him to do. That's good. Yeah. I'm doing good as well. Just enjoying myself with doing this podcast and talking about the WWE, yeah, onto WWE SmackDown tonight because yeah, let's just say it ended with so much. I'll say interesting drama in a very intriguing way. Yeah, like on what's going to be happening between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. But not only that, we got some matches that's been confirmed with Jay Cargill and Naomi, and some much more matches. Like, and unfortunately, we got a match that was canceled between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, which caused Randy Orton to RKO Nicholas the Ridiculous and gave Nicholas the promise that he was put on to do to him, like when the time came. But anyways, this is where we got CM Punk to continue like to on the promo saying like right after he directly said like loyalty, like which yeah something that Seth Rollins don't know about considering like because he's not a trustworthy guy. And this was like in one just day one I showed up and they like and I told that I double like they told me to fire me and you said this one simple word and that was no. And then this where then he continued on the like we were talking about what happened like when he got signed in his first run like about almost 20 years ago back in like 2006. But yeah, this is where we got that's a good question, Mr. Albert Swartz. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, it could be any of these three guys. I think, I don't know. Like, I'm a fan of probably all three of these guys that I'm talking about right now. Like, next to like Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Like, I don't know. Like, this has been like my year for WWE. Like, next to last year's WrestleMania Road to WrestleMania 40. Like, that's a good question. Like, yeah, like. Oh, okay, Mr. Beam. Yeah, I'm paying attention. But anyways, oh, I see what it is. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like what I just said. Like when I compare CM Punk to what the CM stands for. Oh yeah, like I'll say like back in the day, like when he was still alive, like I thought he was probably, and even my own dad think of this, like he was probably one of the most, I'll say, declarated and charismatic, underrated stars in all of wrestling. Yeah, Mr. Alberta, Albert. I mean not Albert. Berta, I mean Albert, yeah, Albert, yeah, but yeah, like I think he was probably like yeah, like but it was such a shame that what happened in that incident happened like almost 20 years ago between him and his family, like in his house. Like, yeah, totally unfortunate. But yeah, like that was a shame because like I remember we used to watch him all the time, like with him doing that very famous submission move, like which he made everybody tap out with. By the way, like even John Cena with that maneuver. But yeah, but anyways, back to the segment between CM and speaking of that guy, like he was supposed to wrestle CM Punk back in the East in his ECW days for the vacant ECW title. But anyways, back to the video. This is where we got CM Punk continues saying like, it's where then the CM Punk compliment his best friend Paul Heyman on he's wise as he's been for all the years, and he prophesied. And this where then he said he's been prophesizing this on national television. He is. I'll say I agree with you on that, Albert Schwartz. Like, yeah, I think yeah he is the GOAT. Like overall, even though like dude, despite the controversies and stuff. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's a very cool. Yeah, Vortex, Mister Beam. But yeah, but yeah, like I think he's the go-to despite the controversy. Like yeah, like I think like overall, like in his wrestling career, I think he did a totally terrific job in it. Which I still think he'd probably still be wrestling to this day if that tragedy didn't happen in the first place. But anyways, this is where we got CM Punk continued. Like this is where CM Punk's like, he's like, just because like those people that have forgotten and don't talk about it like they did before doesn't mean I haven't. And then this is where then he continue on the promo where Paul Heyman has some a worried face when he thought looking right directly at CM Punk and back at Roman. And this is where he's like, and this was like, and I remember when you left this company, like right directly out of the Big Show's bus, which that I believe that's the same whale that's now the other company with that ant guy that's working as a what's that guy? Not a producer, I guess you could say producer on the gorilla position in that company. But anyways, yeah, I just see a Punk's like, and it was me, you, Paul, and Show, and Rob Van Dam that was sitting there, like, talking about amongst ourselves, like, yeah, like when they were all on the ECW brand in WWE when they revived it. But this word is like, and I understand about me, like, that Paul, like, they're gonna fire me, Paul. Like, without you, I am completely nothing. And Paul, don't leave. Like, and this where he's like, no, this where Paul Heyman's like you. It was like, Paul, like, he's like, yeah, and this is where Paul like, no, like, you're not going to be fine. This is where the CM Punk, Paul, what I can do for you in that moment, you looking direct me in the eye, Paul. You said, like, like, go and main event WrestleMania is this response, even though he never got a chance to do that in that first run in WWE, at least not yet. But now, like, thanks to his OTC, one thing he thanks him is like he is gonna get a shot at that. But this was like when they deal with us, like, well, those guys are not here anymore. But that's a reference to like the previous regime and the what's it called, the owners and them. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Dang, like I wish there was any way that I could help, like to give you some advice to bounce off of. I would say the only thing I can say is never give up and try to find your style. Like find like what you're good at in the squared circle. Yeah, that's my best advice I would give to you, Mr. Albert Schwartz. But yeah. I'll say maybe like because let's just say I've been doing some looking into wrestling. I'll say and maybe like if I get in more into the industry, maybe I could probably help you out into this little missed opportunity of your dream. Yeah, and try to make it more easy for you if I can make you feel better on that, Mister Swartz. Yeah. But anyways, that's where we got Chick Magnet continues like like, and that leads to you, my tribal chief. Like, after he said, like, those people, like, I'm here gonna be forcing you out of your comfort zone now. I'm gonna force you with him having the wilder. Like, then you're gonna be dealing with us, which he preferred, like, as him, like, probably referring to him and Paul Heyman. And then this is where then Roman Reigns like, what's that supposed to mean? And this was like, because at WrestleMania, like in the main event, like that you grant my in my corner, like, yeah, like you are a wise man. Like you're a wise man. And that's my best friend, not to mention, like also known as, like, and that is Paul Heyman. That's gonna be the reason. This is where the Roman Reigns look directly to Paul Heyman. This is where Roman Reigns, and this is where Seth Rollins started cracking up. Like he's like, too bad I don't have any popcorn, which I was like, man, if I had some popcorn, I was nearby, I would have offered some to Seth Rollins. And second of all, like who could blame him for laughing? This is some, I'll say, must see cinema, I guess you could say, even though it's not a movie, it's a wrestling segment. But yeah, this is where this is where Seth Rollins then said something under his breath, like with him while having the microphone, saying, like, see, I told you, which he said directly to Roman Reigns, which I was like, yeah, like I've been saying the same thing since day one, since the favor even got brought up in WWE programming. But this is where then and the Roman Reigns that was looking at in a questionable, confused face to Paul Heyman. This is where did Roman Reigns this is where Roman Reigns thought this was like some kind of a funny late April Fool's joke that CM Punk's pulling off. This where and then Roman Reigns like, ha, like Punk, like that's the favor that you want, like from Paul, like you want the custody of Paul? They just start cracking up like, I'm like, yeah, I knew it. Like, I knew it. Like, I told everybody, like, that was the favor. Like, he wants to make Paul Heyman the wise man, make him his own wise man, let me rephrase that. Like, he kind of originally did back from 2012 to 2013. But yeah, this is going to be probably much more of like a double times better version of that with some pretty more interesting storytelling. But it's where the CM Punk like he needs me, Punk. Like I saved him. Like 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 even if I let him be your wise man, like he wouldn't be your wise man. This is where he's like cracking up. Like tell him, Paul. It's where then he was joking, like it's laughing, like no, it's like laughing like this joke that was. This where he's like wise man. This where the point like that's my tribal chief. This where Mr. Roman they get this Dexter pool easy, will you? And then this is where the Paul Heyman and say nothing for the next like 20 seconds. This is where Roman okay, like this jokes and charades are has gone long enough. It's where like the smiles turn to friends, where the fans start chanting CM Punk. He's like, wait, like you're not gonna say no? And this is where the Roman Reigns is like, wait, are you crying, Paul? And then this is where he was literally crying. I start cracking up. And this is why this segment's not gonna get any kind of trophies of the best goofy wrestling of the night. Like it's not gonna get not even a golden trophy. It's gonna get the platinum trophy because this was pure cinema gold. On to the road to WrestleMania. This is why like yeah, SmackDown's gonna get a high number tonight, even though it's gonna be kind of controversial, like in choiceful picks on my end, but it's something that makes sense. Like looking at it into an entertaining standpoint. That's why he's like, you better wipe your eyes and tell him no. Like if he was his daddy, like if he telling him that he cannot play with his friends outside, like on a like for a little fun child activity, but you're like, no, like, yeah, you got to tell him you have to say no, you got to stay home and do your chores and homework. Like if he's like a very old school dad, like if you don't do what he says and obey, like then you're going to get your butt whooped. And this is where it was like Roman Reigns was about to turn into his daddy, like if you don't say no to CM Punk. But it's where he's like, no, my tribal chief, like I don't want to be in the middle of this. Like I thought, why don't we just come together and have a little tea party and 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 have some tea and crumpets. And then this is where then he's and more tears just flowing out of the eyes of the wise man. This is where Roman Reigns like, no, Pete, say no, like I'm like I build you up. I made you relevant again. So please tell him no. And this is where he started demanding him now, like in very loud and angry voice. Like this is where and Paul Heyman like looked like what he's about. This was similar to like when Soul Cole was making Paul Heyman say, "Acknowledge me as your tribal chief." This is where then Roman is like, "I'm gonna give you one more opportunity for this, Paul. Like tell him no or else." And then this is where then Paul Heyman got on the microphone, and you would not expect what he was about to say. Well, anything that comes out of the mouth of the wise man, you probably at this point would not expect. Did That's what if Paul Heyman. And I know I'm not supposed to be laughing at this moment, and that makes me a horrible person and a human being for laughing. But the way Paul Heyman says, like, "No, my tribal chief, I cannot do that." And then it's where because given that he owes Punk a favor, this is where Seth Rollins is cracking up like. Seth Rollins like, ha ha, like this couldn't get even better with two of my worst enemies like are crashing down. That's where he was on his knees crying and laughter like, ha. That's where Roman Reigns like, are you questioning? Like, are you defying your tribal chief? That's where like about to be angry. Which I was like, gee, I haven't seen him this angry probably since the beginning of 2022 when they nearly had a fallout. Like when they nearly split, but it was all just a trick to that reincarnated beast like that was going after Roman Reigns' title. But yeah, it was like 3 years ago. Like, kind of remind me of then, like what they're going fall out, but this time with the chick magnet in hand because this is his other client that looked like that he's cheating on with him. Like, and this is where then we got. But once he puts it. But once he put the Ula follow onto the face of Paul Heyman, this is where CM Punk got right on top of him. This is where he started hitting some right hands onto the face of Roman Reigns. Then he picks him up on the shoulders, hits him with the GTS, which that's very mysteriously peculiar that he gets all the momentum like onto in the next 2 weeks. Which I mean, it could be the other way around with Roman Reigns seeking some revenge on the Go Home show on WrestleMania SmackDown. Yeah, no, like or next week SmackDown, I should say. But this is where Punk's like, okay, I take care of the tribal chief. Now it's your turn, Rollins. But this is where Roman Reigns decided to just say no and just walk right out. And this is where CM Punk's like you don't know what you're getting. I don't know what you think you're getting yourself into. This is where then CM Punk's like, but yeah, you're. I don't know, like what you're not doing. Like you have an opportunity to try to end this cancer. I want you to end me right now. This is where the CFR like, no, I think I'll wait in the next 15 days. That's where he walked right out of there. He's like, see you then. Like, see you later in that night. And then that's where then Paul Heyman's like, well, why did you put your hands on the tribal chief just days away before the biggest showcase event? Like, why does this always happen? Like, why? Like, why is it like every 3 hours of my life be filled with, or 2 to 3 hours, I should say, of my life being filled with this this endless misery of pain? Like, why? Which it sounds similar to Squidward on that episode of SpongeBob's Club. Now thinking about it, but yeah, that was basically your Friday Night SmackDown tonight, where 3 hours, and it seems like they're improving the 3 hour mark. I'll say watching this episode, I was like, I wish it was like this more often. Then I'll be appreciating the 3 hour moniker of Friday Night SmackDown like more than I ever did, like ever since they moved it to the extra hour mark. But what are your thoughts on SmackDown tonight? Let me know in the comment section right down below. But I would say it's getting the perfect 5 stars of the show. I'm sorry, but like we got a perfect debut. We got the match finally being announced between Jay Cargo and Naomi, which that should have been like a long time ago. And also we got and we also got an unexpected last man standing match that was probably better than how I predicted it to be. But at the same time, like like unfortunately, it's not we're not going to be seeing Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, which that's probably the only thing bad about tonight's SmackDown. But maybe how do we know that if they're not going to fall out at WrestleMania, like during the show, and we're going to follow it's what finally happening with probably Jacob Fatu going to be over as the babyface because they've been teasing it for quite some time now, and I think it's probably about time that they finally followed through into this direction. And also, we got the number one contenders for another number one contenders for the Motor City Machine Guns against Street Profits, which I'm not sure if it's going to be next week's SmackDown or WrestleMania SmackDown or even WrestleMania itself, which hopefully that'll be the case. But we also got some elements for next week's show with the Pretty Deadly going after the Miz, and what other match is going to be on next week's show? But we did like a debut match, which was pretty interesting, like between Ray Phoenix against Nathan Frazier, which it couldn't have been half as better. Like if he fought Andrade, nothing against Andrade. It's just that like the way they would probably book with Andrade putting them over would have looked right, especially with a guy that's trying to that's supposed to be the one that's supposed to be being getting over rather than putting somebody else over. Which that's a good move WWE just did. This is probably any better episode of SmackDown I've ever watched since Road Dogg's been back in creative. Like, so I had to give kudos to him, and maybe Triple H has been a part of this creative team, like on tonight's SmackDown, because why else it was just entertaining, and especially like when they gave a little bit of a sneak peek of the favor that Paul Heyman owes to CM Punk, which I still think it has something to do with him becoming Punk's wise man. And let me know in the comment section right down below, like what exactly specifically the favor is going to be revealed. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And if so, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and post notification bells while you're at it for more of SNA's videos. And also subscribe on this other channel at SNA Entertainment. The link is in the description box below. And make sure to check out my wrestling news video tomorrow on April 5th, 2025, where I'll be talking about the wildest and intriguing wrestling news and rumors that you assassinators need to know from, I'll say, the WrestleZone article. And also we'll be talking about AEW Collision, which is the go-home show before AEW Dynasty, which I'm not sure if I will be making a review video for the show. Yeah, considering that, I won't have a chance to get a chance to watch it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make a review show. I'm not sure if I'm going to make any promises because nothing came through for me for me to conveniently watch the show, but I'm gonna try to figure out something tomorrow about that as well, along with a couple other things outside of the podcast. But yeah, and check out that Collision, which only match I know that's gonna be on the card is Uncle Cash the Flash to be taking on the Bastard Pack, in a one-on-one model match, which is going to build up to, we all know it's a build up to AEW's Dynasty pay-per-view, which I'm going to be giving my predictions. And we also got 4 women that's going to be in a tag team match that's going to be involved in the Owen Hart Cup tournament on their respective matches with one another, against one another, which one of them be the next day. But it's going to be Raph creator Harley Cameron teaming up for the first time with the CEO Mercedes Moné, 4 belts Moné, let me rephrase that, against Athena and what's her name, Julia Hart, which Julia Hart will be taking on the CEO the next day on AEW Dynasty in the first round. But yeah, who do you think is going to win? Which hopefully is going to be the dream team that's going to take the W. I'm sorry, I'm just more of a fan of Harley and Mercedes. Hopefully they get the W. Hopefully that they'll have some momentum as well. When they're probably potentially going to win the first. Well, since a Harley's going to face Athena, it's going to be hard to argue that, saying that maybe Athena's going to win. But for the fact that that's going to build up into their possibly potential match at AEW All In, which is going to be in Athena's home state, if not her hometown, because she's from Dallas. So that, and Arlington's not that far away from Dallas. So Athena will be in her hometown, probably likely as well. When she could face the CEO. But yeah, like until then, we're gonna have to continue speculating on that, like for a different day. But let me know in the comments who's gonna win these two matches, along with other matches that's probably gonna be scheduled for tomorrow. But all I know is that these are gonna be the two that's gonna be on the card. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. I hope you all are having a super phenomenal Friday night, and I'll see you next time with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. Bye bye. Stay good to yourself, and you will achieve everything that you desire to. Just keep believing it, keep working hard, and just believe in every word that comes out of the mouth of the assassin. And also the man above, which is you know his name, and that is God and His Son, the King of heaven, and that is Jesus. And God bless to you all. Have a miraculous night, and I'll see you soon. Peace.